seemed to. It worked pretty well.
Let's see. And the prototype I use?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or it was in the designs folder, my bad.
uh, now, do the players have to? Is there like an order they have to go around the board, or once they enter in, they can just go anywhere they want?
Once they enter, it's all fair game. If they've got the fatigue to do it, they can do it.
All right.
The only constraint I had is that they cannot, like, if they scavenge, I call it scavenge. If they, my playtest, what I did is if the player lands on like this resource space
Yeah.
after it, and they roll or they take a resource card, they can't camp there and take a resource card within their turn.
Yeah. So it depletes whatever's right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Now another player could use that, and then this player, like if he went here, here, and ended his turn there,
Yeah.
the next time his turn came in around, he could scavenge that space.
You don't think that'll make it a little too easy for him?
Um, I
mean,
don't mind having him be like, whenever it's gone, it's gone.
I mean, yeah. I really like this idea. I think it might be a little more effective if at the end of the month it like replenished. So, you know, player one comes in and he's here and he gets something and then he moves here. Player two comes in, gets something from there, and then can go here. And then next round, player one can just go back. And they just kind of keep going back and forth, which doesn't really let them go explore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe they come in and they if they collect something or maybe they put something on there so they know that it was depleted.
Yeah, we could make just a bunch of little paper tokens that say like looted or whatever, or scavenged.
Now, if this is like a general idea on how big we want the region to be, we might have to include them, give them more resource points or action points.
Yeah, that's what I said. It worked good with 4+.
Yeah. Now the thing I was thinking of maybe doing was, what if we had them roll for their action points? Not necessarily them to move, not that they roll to move. Like say they roll a 6, that doesn't mean they get to move 6 spaces. They get 6 action points to spend within that region. I know it's kind of going back to the chance or probability. If you roll a 1, then you only get 1 move, and if they're way out here and it's round 4 and they got to get back, and they don't have enough rolls to get back, that could be a problem.
Mm-hmm. The main reason that I set this up was I was trying to test giving the players something other than just move to this space, pick food or water, or pick food or resource and roll for it.
Yeah.
This way, you have a if we go with action points or if we go with just your fatigue as your fatigue, either way, there's a conscious choice saying, do I want to go this way? Do I want to go here? Do I want to try for a resource? Do I want to go here and try to get here and be able to hunt, or go with the resource where somebody else goes for a resource here and I hunt? And then that's how they start that phase.
Yeah.
And then we just figure out, okay, are we going to have 2 resource decks? Are we going to have 1 resource deck for the region? Or just have each region have 2 resources and that's it? Like the forest has, a building material and something else, while the river has the cordage and something else. I think that with the amount, having like 4 different resources per region, I think that's what's killing us.
Yeah. I mean, the first playtest I did, going to the region and you only had the crafting deck, the food deck, and the medical deck. You know, the big problem I kept running into was, I needed wood, but all I kept pulling was stone. So, I decided that the players would have to keep what they roll. Um, so it kind of took up inventory space also, and I really didn't have any luck getting any wood. So my only problem was mixing the resources in a pile. You know, um, would the players be able to discard what they get that they don't need, and if it would cost them something, and would they be able to, roll again until they got what they needed? Because doing that, if someone could sit there for, a longer period of time, so they're just rolling, trying to get wood, but only coming up with stone, which could probably kill the game pretty short.
Mhm. That's why I was by simplifying it and having like instead of um, just to simplify it, just to bare bones. Instead of wood or stone, you have a building material,
Yeah,
and that building material is located um, in the forest or in the mountain. You have a cordage material, which is located somewhere else. You have that way. You're always when you're pulling for a resource, you're going to get either that building material, um, and it's just a base of how much you're getting for it. Does that make sense?
yeah. So what would the resources in the forest be? You would have uh, probably a wood, and is
Yep.
that it, or would you have another one?
I think maybe having uh, wood be in the forest. That's the thing is if we separate it too much, you're just going to have four players going to the corners and just getting whatever they need.
Yeah,
Unless we up the ante a little bit to where, because then we could start playing with the values of the cards. Because if you're only drawing wood, it's just a matter. One player might draw one wood while the other player might draw three.
yeah,
So we'd have to balance our cards with that. But that way, we wouldn't run into that problem. Or we have only building materials in the forest, only cordage materials in the river, and the cordage materials might be different. It might be reed, snake grass, whatever, but have only one type of resource in each region. But within that, you would have like a 25% chance of getting. Hey, Heather, could you turn that down just a smidgen? Thank you. If you had a 25% chance to get this type of cordage, a 25% chance to get this type of cordage, a 25% chance to get this type. And then we could kind of mix and match, why we have people going there for different things. Like we might have building a wall and you need at least three different types of cordage.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah. And you would have them all in the same region, or
You'd have them all in the same region, but they would all be in one deck.
okay. So, but now, so say if you had reed and snake grass and another cordage all in the river in the same deck, and let's say you needed to build a wall and you needed, let's say, two reed, one snake grass, and probably three seaweed. So, I mean, the way I think of it is like cordage is cordage. So whether it's seaweed, grass, snake grass, reeds, or whatever, it's all gonna have the same purpose.
We could all make it just one
Yeah,
instead of splaying it out. I am completely fine with that.
yeah. The more I go through the GD here, the more I feel like we're biting off a little more than we could chew.
Yeah,
And
maybe a little.
I feel like having all these cards and it's giving them a purpose. Well, they need a purpose, but clay, reed, seaweed, snake grass, bamboo. All these different objects. I feel like they like adding too much to the game that we really don't need.
Mm-hmm. And if we had it to where it was just pull for cordage, we could up the amount that they would need to get,
Yeah.
which would force them to go spend more time. Like, okay, I got 3 here, but I still need 5, so I need to make my way, spend an action point, do another one here, do another one here.
Yeah. So I think maybe we'll change it so instead of having seaweed and uh, grass weed and reeds and stuff, or snake grass, we'll just call it cordage.
Mhm.
We won't specify what kind it is. Same thing with, I guess, wood. I mean, in my playtest, I said, in the mountain you would get oak wood or birch wood. In the forest you would get, the opposite.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's really necessary. We just say wood, and same thing with, the medical plants. I don't think we really need to specify what plants they are. I think it'd be a little more,
Medicinal herbs.
yeah, just say, it's a medical plant.
And that
Medical
would,
marijuana.
yeah, there you go. And that would take care of the issue that we're having where
Yeah.
it's just kind of, hoping to get whatever you want out of the deck. And that's something where, since we have the die roll for the hunting mechanic,
Yeah.
what did we say? Like 1 through 5, you get like a berry or 1 food. The next thing would be, 2, and then the small animal would, and the topper half of that distribution would be the 3 food tokens.
Yeah.
So you're always going to get something. And I think that would add a little bit more player choice to what we're doing, and not just go to a space. I'm going to roll for this.
Yeah. I mean, the second playtest I did, that's all just to see if the idea of the uh, tokens would work for everything. I just put 1 space that the players can go to, which
Well, I love the idea of the tokens. I think we should definitely go with that.
I found that to be a lot easier than, pulling a card and it's saying, get +2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you just grab 2 tokens.
Yeah, like like the card I had, it said if this is what you rolled, then this is what you get. So
Mhm.
I kind of felt like the idea of having something physical that you can hold on to gave a little more meaning to the game.
And the 4 tokens or the 4 colors match up to just having 4 separate resources.
Yeah. I mean, I had 6, which it's easier to.
Well, we have food, so we would need
Yeah.
we need another one.
Well, I had crafting, which was I just cut some squares out of a paper and colored them black. Water, I did the same thing with blue, and then I used the 4 colored marbles we had for cordage, wood, food, and medicine. And something like that. I think that'll be a lot easier to track and have access to compared to all the cards.
So,
Which the card concept that you made on GIMP, we could still print that out and use that to make up whatever cards we have.
oh yeah, it'd be super easy to do. Jeffrey, I know we've been Tyler and I have been talking pretty quick, so I don't know if you have any thoughts as well as to what's going on, or kind of any feedback on what we're the main thing that we found in our playtest last night is that we didn't have a concrete how people were getting resources, so it was hard to balance what was going on. So that was the problem that we were attempting to solve with Tyler using the token idea, and I tried to come up with a little bit more of a second tangible way to get them to make choices.
Yeah. And I like the board idea. I really like the board idea. I think it makes it a lot more interesting. It's not so much go directly here and directly do what you want to do. It involves, I guess, like more exploration and kind of a feel of an area rather than just like a space to go to. I like having tokens because I agree with the whole card thing, the amounts and everything. It's just I have a storm going on outside.
It's not
If you
like
hear
you
any-
live in Missouri, man.
The other,
It's coming our way later.
the other thing I found with the cards is the cards we have. Mine are pretty much destroyed because I've gotten them so wet trying to erase all the markers off. But they do not shuffle very well, and the marker on them smudges when you try to shuffle them. So, if we had a pile of cards that had our resources and their amounts, and we sat there and kept shuffling them every round, it'd probably ruin the cards pretty quick.
So, if we go with like, say this board idea, right here, I can't remember what kind of shape that is.
The hex.
The hex.
Yeah, the hex. Okay, so we go with that idea. I was thinking like if we put like a token or something to represent what kind of resource or like whatever you're gonna gather there. We would just like have something you can flip, kind of like a coin. Like heads means you can gather something there, and tails would mean like you can like something's already gone.
Yeah, we would have to make like some kind of little paper we could put on top or something that maybe we cut out we can make this in GIMP in like 2 seconds, but maybe something like, let me grab a shape. And it could be even something as simple as
Just be a red and green circle.
and then have it say when I was thinking about this, and I was thinking like, okay, I started doing a gratis outline for our game. I'm like, okay, what are we really trying to do here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the players are trying to scavenge resources. So I'm like, all right, so if they're trying to scavenge for a resource, and we try to get down to base mechanics, and I started going, well, if there's only one type of resource per region, you're going to go to the woods to get a certain something. You're not going to be like, well, I can get, unless you're like a hardcore survival guy.
Yeah.
And most people that are going to be playing our game are not. I was like, well, you just go for this type of thing. And then, like Jeffrey said, once it's out, it's, we can say it's scavenged till the end of the round, so we could just do like a little black shard and then put like a...
I mean, I don't think we have to even write something on it that says, looted or depleted. I think
It could just be black.
Yeah, I mean, just note that in the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
When you gather something from a hex, it's depleted until the next round. So, all right, now the big thing that we'll have to figure out is what resources are in, because I really like this idea of now that I see it in person on how we can set it up, and how it'll look. I really like this way. It feels better than them just going to a spot and having 3 areas to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
This gives, and then picking a card. This gives them chances to explore and see the scenery.
Yeah, we can expand that depending on our fatigue.
Yeah.
That we give them. We can expand that or however much we want and add more spaces.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeffrey?
I was just wondering if we have them the board like this and they land on a space, is it mandatory that they search, or is it just an option?
No, it's just if they were going, let's say they were wanting to search this area and they started at the entrance and they decided to go here, they wouldn't have to search there. They didn't want to. They could just spend another fatigue to move.
Yeah.
And just an entrance, I'm guessing it counts as a space too. Or it's just like I entered this place.
I think that the entrance spaces are the way I kind of envisioned them when I was kind of making this playtest up. Is the entrance spaces are like waypoints from the base,
Mm-hmm.
so it costs a movement to go from
The base to the region.
the base to the region,
Yeah.
and then you move normally. You don't have to be like, all right, I'm on the entrance. Now I got to move on the entrance, spend a movement on the entrance again, and move. It's all right. I'm here now. Let me go.
It's like them fast traveling.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you could always like remove the entrance and just put the cam.
And the other reason I like the hex is we can design the regions, to look different instead of it all being just the same size square.
Yeah, we could just, Jeffrey, definitely, we could, instead of this being like an entrance, this could, like, we could have 3 or 4 hexes that are actually connected to the base.
Yeah.
And then they could just step out and go. I kind of like that. I think that would look better from a aesthetic instead of having space between the entrance and the base.
And I feel like with just the way this looks, I could just imagine like all the other regions, just like, and I feel like they'd be way more like connected and it'd just look better visually while like playing the game.
And the other thing too is, remember we talked about having potentially having these connected. If we had them all surrounding the base, feasibly we could do that, because it'd be like if this was the edge of the forest, you would have like I'm just going to use my little bad space here. Go away, stupid S. But this black square could be part of the mountain.
Yeah.
And then, that would be a very dangerous track to go, because you would still have to clear through all of this to go back to base to drop off your stuff.
Oh yeah,
But it's feasible.
If we're going with this idea, like the hexes, are we going to remove like? I guess I feel like with more spaces and like things that would reduce fatigue would kind of make it like way more difficult. I don't know if like you tested that at all.
No, I was just my main test was to figure out the how they gathered resources and hunted.
Yeah,
that's definitely a good point to bring up. We could say that even though these look connected, that you can't go between
regions. You'd have to go back to the base.
Well, yeah. I just had an idea. Like, what if there were certain spaces that, when certain weather conditions happen, there's spaces you just can't go on, and so it makes you have to like traverse the areas differently than just taking shortcuts across. So like you can see the R right here, and then there's this blank space, and then there's the H. So like this blank space right here, whenever it's like raining or whatever, and this space could be like blocked off, and you can't go on this empty space. So you have to like go farther around to get to this H.
We could definitely play with that. I like the idea. I would want to make sure that this works first.
Yeah. No, that's just an idea. If we keep weather conditions and maybe change it around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to clean off the area, set up that board, so get an idea on if it'll work.
Yeah, let's do a quick play test of that, and then if it works, I was talking to some friends of mine over Facebook for the IGDA in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And just asked them, I was like, do you guys know any tool that I can use to prototype card values quickly? And I started kind of telling them a little bit of what we're doing in this class. We have these cards that we're kind of working on. This is what I've done in Excel. And they're all like, no, you're doing the right thing, but start off with a 1, 2, and 3 for your resources, because those are, starting off in thirds. If you increase them or decrease them, it's a lot easier to go from that base.
Yeah.
But we caught the eye of a guy that designs, has been very successful designing educational board games, like more like science-based stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is a really fantastic idea. Let me know when you're done. I might be able to point you in the right direction to publish.
Really?
Really.
That'd be awesome.
So I was like, holy crap. So I thought I would share that with you guys, that there are people that actually do this for a living that dig what we're doing. I think that's pretty cool. Now we just have to make it. Right, I'm going to grab some cards and battle mat, and some Windex. Oh, BRB.
Right. I might go inside. So I might go inside. Gotta set up the board and all that. Do it in here. I'll figure it out. Yo, when Michael comes back, I gotta leave the chat real quick. I gotta switch rooms and get another internet connection so I can set up the board.
Alright.
I'll just leave for a quick second.
Alright.
Hey, Connor.
Hey, Leo.
How's everything?
Good. I was just gonna come in and use either the table or the counter to work on my homework.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, of course.
I don't have a lot of space out, and
Is Hillary passed out?
she's getting ready to go to
Oh,
bed.
she was so tired. I could see it in her face. She was so exhausted.
Yeah.
I was telling him about those assholes that were talking shit to her at work,
Yeah.
you know? And like the parent in me wants to go over there,
Well,
like, don't be bullying my child.
That's.
you know?
I told her, I was like, if I come in there and someone does that, would it be alright if I did something?
Yeah.
I was like, I
If they
don't.
did it in front of me, your dad, never mind if they did it in front of him, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're talking shit. Like, she's new, she just got there, and then they want to be talking crap.
Yeah. That's what I told her. I said, don't worry about them.
I mean, we're talking about we need to find her another job, like find her like a 9 to 5. Even if it's not close by, but if we can get her to get something with really good pay,
Yeah.
then y'all stay here, for a few months, and then save up enough money, and then get your own apartment closer to her job.
She mentioned to you guys about the ADT job.
Yeah.
She said she did a phone interview with them, and that they just told her, okay, that's the first interview. We'll call you back for a second interview if you get to the
She
next
didn't tell me
level or
about
something like that.
Yeah, she said
she
it
told me.
was like September is when they'll.
For the second phone interview.
Yes, the second.
And I saw that there was this lady advertising on that. I think it was on Facebook or OfferUp. And she was saying, my company's not doing a lot of hiring right now, but it's for a pest control company. But they pay pretty well. Because Richard used to work for Orkin before. He went from the mechanic to Orkin and then back to a mechanic. And but it was like receptionist stuff, like doing intake phone calls and setting appointments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know if she would even be interested in that. But anything other than
Is it the new bottle?
this one? Yeah, the other one's in the sink because I filled it
it's
with
like-
water. Why?
It looked like it was empty.
Tyler, tell us where you want to go because we're not going to be here. We're about to go upstairs.
Oh,
so-
yeah, I was probably going to use this whole.
Right here? Okay, then
Yeah.
use this whole section.
Let me clear this stuff off.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see I bought that other pump?
Yeah,
Hillary said it wasn't on when she came out here.
yeah, I
It
looked at
wasn't
it.
on.
It wasn't running. It wasn't plugged in.
It wasn't plugged
I
in.
plugged it in.
It must have came unplugged or something.
Oh, wow.
You know how the fish can be feisty. They probably went out there, they stuck their fin out
wow,
and plugged
man.
it.
I wonder how long it was unplugged.
It'll probably be tomorrow before it shows up. Okay.
Yeah, because I checked it. I thought, wow,
Tyler,
it was
there's
running.
some cream of chicken.
Okay.
I don't know if you eat it
Cause
or not,
I
but
checked it last night and the
But
water was
do
running
you
right
like
there.
broccoli
So
and cheese casserole?
Never had it.
Never had it?
it's good.
It's
Oh my
broccoli,
God.
cheddar cheese, and white rice mixed together. It's a casserole. So
Okay.
there's that, and then there's some chicken there on the
And then,
side.
do you like green
No,
salsa?
he won't eat that. It's
Nah.
spicy. That's spicy for him.
It's good.
So if you want that, it's right there.
Okay.
So I'll probably come down in a little while to put everything away. So, yeah, babe, your salsa is here for tomorrow. Oh, that was the other thing I was gonna.
You gonna make me another one?
Did I? Well, bring everything over here, babe. Cause I gotta talk to you about something.
Stand right there.
Okay. You know how I bought my two.
Did you ever have a chance to check out Roll20.com?
No, I never checked it out.
Oh, dude.
All right, I'm back.
Dude. It is amazing.
I'm gonna
If I can just remember how to do it. Can I change that to hex? That would be cool if I could.
I'm back.
What's up, man? So I had an idea. If I can figure out how to mix the hex pattern in Roll20,
I can get that when I'm done in here.
type. Oh yeah, we can do it. Oh. There we go.
Not
Yeah.
bad. They have hexes and squares.
I am too. Now, if I could figure out how to add color to the map, that would be great. Let's see here.
Go grab my markers real quick.
Draw a rectangle.
What? So when I found one that fit half
Alright, so are you guys? Are you still in the region idea file?
Still really tight.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's just not all the way in. But the other that was there was one that was already just one. That one fit perfect. So
You can build it in Roll20. You just have to paint in all the little things yourself.
Oh, you're trying to make the region in there?
Yeah, I was just messing around to see if they could do it.
You might be able to do in that other one, the Pyromancer's one too.
I haven't looked at that one yet. Oh, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, this has a square and hex grid.
For Pyromancer,
Yeah.
shoot the link. 'Cause I don't have it in front of me. If you don't mind, put it in chat.
The Villa has a metallic, metal base, like a metal just frame. That's all it is. But only the two top ones are the ones that are connected. The bottom ones aren't connected. One's the one on the right I took off. The one on the left
Okay.
is
Oh.
so
Oh,
stripped.
I like this.
There we go.
How'd you make it?
Go over to the right side. It'll say layers and back and grid.
It's full.
And click on back and grid and you can choose hex.
So I see ground floor, roof, walls, object, terrain, plants, lines. See that? Let's
I mean,
Wait.
those fancy hexes.
stick to grid. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Layers, so back to grid, and hexes. Uh-huh. Okay, and then how do you paint stuff?
Should just be able to click and drag. So that makes it squares.
Well, because I had my screwdriver, I had my pliers, I had my, because that's what I was working on YouTube. One thing that I did was YouTube, and then you could tell me if I could take it off because I made a mistake, and if that didn't.
Line, thickness, transparency.
But then I'm just-
Yeah, I don't see how I can color in the grids though, unless I go to like. Okay, that's walls, objects,
Someone's being in the kitchen.
ground floor.
If you go back into the back and grid, it has the color in the background.
Oh, okay. That changes all of it, though. I just want to change.
Which color? Did you tell them that you want one? Did you tell them that? Like I said,
Part of it.
it probably wasn't gonna be fresh. Probably not, right?
I don't know. I'll do it by hand.
Fresh. My name is being tainted.
The lines.
Yeah, thank you.
I may have to learn that because that would be cool because you can export it and then
Yeah.
bring it into Roll20. I'll mess with that at a later date.
Hmm. It's got a Decker terrain and plants tab, but I think that's not me clicking them. I wonder if that's a paid version or something.
Probably.
I'll be back. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Anyway,
Let's see. Alright, there's 602 hex on this board.
602.
Yeah.
Oh.
so maybe just start in the middle and then.
Do we have more than 4 markers?
We only have 4. I don't know if you, unless you have other non-permanent markers you can use, like dry erase marker, I guess.
So can I use markers I use on a whiteboard?
Yeah, those are dry erase.
Yep.
As long as it's not permanent, then. All right.
What colors do
So you want to make the base area maybe.
Do you want to try to make the whole board layout on Pyromancer, or just like an idea?
If you know how to use Pyromancer.
A little bit. I mean, I don't know how to make it to color in the hex themselves. I mean, I know how to change the color of all of them, but I don't know how to change the color of just one.
There's got to be a way to do that. I mean, you would think.
Yeah, the only shapes I have are rectangle, ellipse, and polygon.
Well, the polygon. Hang on a minute. Back in grid.
Sorry, my dog's irritating. They're kind of barking a lot.
I mean, I could. The problem with the polygon is it's very square.
Yeah.
But you would think there's a way to.
I'm drawing it out on my board.
Shoot. Press enter to complete figure. Lips.
Let's see.
That won't work. Tiles, small tiles.
And after we get the map done, if you can go to the scene viewer tab and load it there and add tokens and all that.
Oh, for Roll20?
No, on Pyromancers.
Oh, I know that. I know in Roll20, if you just like export the image,
Yeah.
like if you have the image on your computer, you can just drag it in and.
What if we did? Maybe I'll try to take a picture of the board, or maybe there's a thing we can use to make. You know, I was thinking of another name we could probably call them. I was thinking, if they're stuck on an island, we could call it stranded.
Yeah.
But that'll be a debate we'll have.
Yeah.
What's called misplaced for now.
I'm gonna watch the Roll20 crash course real quick.
I don't think we can add. Alright. So what is this down here? Hex. You said we can just bring a link or a photo into Roll20, right?
Yeah, I'm reading up on how to do that right now.
All right.
I drew kind of a rough drawing of it.
Oh, I'm a dumbass. You go to your page settings and then you just under background you hit that image that's on your computer. That's it. Yeah, I can do it. It's easy. Here's the URL on how to do it, in case you were wondering. Oh, really? You're gonna be like that thing?
Alright. I made a kind of board that I drew out.
The order Pathfinder campaign is completely arbitrary and just goes off of my own personal
You
taste.
watch this stuff
I
off.
love putting battle maps together, so that'll be the first task I jump to. After watching this series, dig into your own campaign in whatever order you wish. Fortunately, I don't need to cram both the tavern and sewer page represents a unique tabletop spread campaign. This is where the page toolbar comes.
Oh, that's what that button is for.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking, I was like, what do I do here? But I need a hex picture.
Each page represents a unique table unit grid.
Yeah, any picture. Like you could just take a picture of whatever you drew or whatever Jeffrey drew to get a map or whatever, and then
we
take
just
a
need to
picture
change
and
this
send it?
up in the page settings.
yeah, might as well.
Alrighty, so page setting. Hex V.
I'll take it.
There we go. Now I got hex. So make sure we get the right size.
You're sorry if mine's a bit hard to read.
Where'd you upload it to?
What?
Did you upload it?
Not yet. Plug in my phone real quick and I'll upload it.
You got Bluetooth? Oops.
I have to grab my cord. Well, I already have my cord, but plug it into my computer. I guess I'll just put it in designs.
And Mike, you're gonna work on a layout for in Roll20.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm looking. I'm kind of watching the crash courses right now,
All right.
just to be able to do that. Where'd you up? Okay. Where's the base?
It's in the middle.
Where'd you upload it?
It's in the designs.
All right.
It's the JPEG. I wish if I could just color in the stupid hex patterns on Roll20.
The base is black, but it blends in with the blue pretty well. But there are 7 spaces that are black in the center.
Now the question is, do we want to use the whole board or no? Using the whole thing would be a lot of moving for the players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't use that much of the board.
Yeah, I think we could. I mean, we could have like a central thing
Yeah.
with it, and then we could use the outsides to place our cards and kind of the other parts of it.
All right.
Okay, so I need to go to page settings. Then what was the pixels for? You said 60 by what?
How many hex there are?
Mm-hmm.
I had counted 602. I've got the first row is 21 in height, and the second row is 22 in height, and there's 14 rows for the short and the tall columns.
Okay. Okay. Now let's see here. So I'm on the map and background layer. What I want to do. Okay, I kind of figured out how to do it. If you can make a okay, let me try something real quick. Yep, I figured it out, guys.
Nice.
If you go into like your GM layer,
Yeah.
and where it says polygonal line, you click on that and then make sure that the outside stroke is whatever color and the inside stroke is whatever color.
Yeah.
And then as you trace around the hex shape, it will be what you want it to be.
I guess if you come up with a design on Roll20, I'll try to map it out on the actual map, so we can use that as the prototype.
Okay. I'm kind of messing around with it right now. Okay. That. Yeah. Now keep in mind, I am a
Decent artist.
I'm a terrible artist. So I use kind of a tan.
Terrible artist is whenever you can't even draw stick figures.
Hey, you know what I could do? You know, I'm kind of a doofus here. I could share my screen so you guys could see what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, when you're done to submit it or show us, but yeah, we could do this, share the screen.
So let me make sure that's oops, that color. So what you do is you kind of it's a line. Just kind of trace around the edge of the one that you want.
With the polygon.
Yeah, and see how it
okay.
fills it in.
All right.
Then you complete it, and then it stops. So you start the next one.
I wonder if there's a quicker way. Could be very time consuming to sit there and
I know.
outline 602 hexagons.
Then of course, kind of wonky things like that. Whenever you don't want it to. There we go. I'm getting the hang of this thing now. Sort of, kind of.
Alright, so we'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey guys, I just finished the forest region and working on the beach.
We're working on the beach. So maybe that may not be the best use of our time, but
I mean, I could
um,
do something like that.
I mean, if you can upload a
Free
picture,
time.
you could probably create one faster in GIMP or.
yeah, like I said, if I am not, I'm okay with making basic shapes, but when it comes to freehanding anything,
Yeah.
I not quite there yet. Like even that card, I was looking at a card that I had in my from a Munchkin game, and I was like, I kind of do something like that. And I did that from a reference.
So what if instead of like doing individual, what if like you drew out the whole like various sides and then like color in that way or something? I thought it'd be faster.
Let's try it. So like,
Magic.
yeah, so we'll grab our polygonal thing, and we'll kind of go. I'm just kind of seeing if this works. So if I go here, here, there, there. Problem is, I'm getting to the point where I can't see some of the lines. And it's kind of working.
In theory, it worked.
In theory, it worked. I made a thingy.
The only one wrong is the very end of them.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, it looks pretty good.
So if any of you artist types want to try some,
I'm gonna try to see if I get something on GIMP.
all right. I think out of all of us, you're the only one that has any art experience at all.
I think so.
As you can tell by my beautiful picture I sent
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Hey, look, I made a doopy. Well, if that's the case, what I'm going to do is start thinking about like card values.
Okay.
How many? So we're going to have one resource deck
All right,
with how many cards apiece?
well, let's go over this. Let's figure out first.
Where you at?
I'm gonna be in the GDD.
Do you
But
mind if I move that to week 3?
shouldn't be one in there.
I think there is a GDD in week 3.
Yeah, I think I put one in there.
Yeah, there's one in there.
Should be in there.
Oh, fancy. All right, I'm there.
But let's go through. Like I said, I think having a name for each card, like hardwood, peat moss, stuff like that, is a little too much. So
I agree.
I think maybe we'll just say
Something like that.
we'll just call them. We'll have wood.
Where are you in the GDD?
Wood
Uh,
cordage.
I'm just writing on a piece of paper right now.
Oh, okay.
We'll have wood, cordage.
Medicinal herbs.
Yeah, wood, Corbage, medical.
Yeah.
I like medicinal herbs.
Medicinal, yeah. And food is a token as well.
Sounds
Okay.
fancy. And food. And this is going to be represented by the 4, I guess.
Well, I mean, we'll have a card that says, so are you envisioning, like, you go to the region and you land on the resource hex. Now, you're going to get a card that says you roll this much for wood.
I was just figuring you would draw a card
Okay.
and it would say like, plus whatever, and whether it's 1, 2, or 3, and you would take that many tokens.
Okay.
Ah,
So,
I like that idea.
yeah, because then we don't need a buttload of cards for each pile.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you just put the card back in.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, so
That was the idea.
we would have 3 cards, one that said 1, one that said 2, and one that said 3.
Mhm.
And players
Just mess
would
with the distribution a little bit and be like,
yeah. So they would just randomly choose one of those 3 cards. Are they just going to choose one, or should they have to roll to decide what they? Is there a 3-sided die?
what I figured is they
There's
would
a
just like,
4-sided.
the way I kind of thought is like the cards would be just in a regular deck.
Yeah.
And then if you landed on the space and you chose to scavenge, you would just draw the top card.
Yeah. I like that idea.
All
Just
right,
drawing
but there's only going to be 3 cards in like the wood pile.
3 types of cards. There's going to be several +1 wood cards, several +2 wood cards.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
several.
All right. That makes sense.
Actually, make a couple +3. That'll be the rare one.
So,
Yeah, it would be a couple +3. Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's get all the cards that we'll have out. That way we can do a little math to figure out how many we should have. So we'll have a wood deck.
Mhm.
And where are we going to put that? And we'll put that in the forest.
I think so. I think we feel most comfortable with that.
Cordage. Would that? I mean, I was thinking vines from like maybe mountain trees could be used as cordage. But
Could be. I mean, you could do it with either vines. You could say that the river has vines too.
yeah.
I like the
All right. So we'll put cordage in the river. Medical herbs.
That could be-
Do we want to? Maybe we'll say those you can get from the mountain.
What is?
The plants, medical herbs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I think
Yeah,
so.
probably.
And food. Where would we say?
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's based on the tile itself.
All right. So we'll have
So-
food in every region.
Yeah,
All right.
and the food tokens could be like, again, cut up
Yeah.
little bits of paper. I think the resource token should be the glass beads.
Okay.
It just kind of feels better that way.
So then the only last region is the beach, and what would we say you get from there?
So we have a building material. We have cordage to wrap around that building material.
Yep.
We have medicinal herbs in case somebody gets hurt.
Yep. We have
Um,
food. Now, the only other thing I was thinking is water, but I don't want to say that's where you get it, the beach from.
Yeah, 'cause it's salt water.
Yeah. So, I think those could be our resources: food, cordage, medical, or wood, cordage, medical, food, and water.
So what would you? So we'd only have 3 regions then. What would be the point of going to the beach?
Well, I'm thinking, what if we switch to cordage and put that in the beach? Like you can say,
Seaweed.
yeah, you could use seaweed, or there's like
Mhm.
those. I don't think they're like pine tree leaves, but those like
pine
long,
fronds.
yeah, like long pointy. You could use them as like a roof.
I like palm tree.
Yeah,
So we could. Well, I don't want to stick all the food just in one region because then you're having you have that same problem again where you go only one place
Yeah.
for food.
Yeah. So we'll switch. We'll put the water in the river
Yeah.
and quarter it on the beach.
So we have 4 separate resource decks, right?
Yeah.
Still, and then we're gonna have 1 food deck.
Well, the food, no, just food tokens.
There's just food tokens. Right?
Yeah, like if you hunt.
Oh
hunt-
yeah, because we roll the dice for food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see. Wood is going to be a card. Cordage is going to be a card. Medical is a card. Food is a token, and water would be. Would we say that's a token or a card?
Well, it'll be a card, but the card will tell you how many tokens to pick up.
Okay.
I think this is going to solve our problem.
So if we only have 4 tokens, so we're gonna have to make another token for food.
Yeah, that'll just be something that they can print off with the rest of our assets.
Instead of
Little
them
piece
having,
of paper.
because if we did like before with just all the cards, that was 59 or 60 cards. So for them to come up
Yeah.
with another, 50, 60 cards, would be more of a challenge instead of them just cutting off some slips of the paper and coloring them in.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Well, I mean, I guess if we gave them like something to print out, we could like have it in color, but you can always have the option of like, because when you print something out, you can print out in color or black and white.
Yeah.
So that way, if they do want to print out in color, they don't have to like color it in or whatever themselves. Maybe they'll just leave it.
We can figure that out after we get this mechanic down.
yeah.
That'll be like the last thing.
So if we got, all right, and let's see what other cards we had. The gold cards.
15 gold cards and 4 weather cards.
Yep.
And that's it.
Right, so,
Oh, and the
Radio.
the radio components.
so that's 23 cards down right there. So where's the calculator? We had 100 cards. Minus 23 leaves us 77.
Oh, that'll be plenty.
Yeah, divide that by 4. 19.25, so we could say 18 cards. Per,
It was 19.25.
yeah. But we'll have to round it down, so we could say 18 cards per deck.
19.
One will have 19, one will have 18. The medical one will only have 18 cards per deck. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work really well. Because that's that gives us a little bit to work with as far as the distribution goes within each deck. And almost 20 works a hell of a lot better than 12.
Yeah. If we did 18 cards per deck, plus the 15 gold cards and the 4 radio and weather, we'll have 95 cards, or 5 cards left over to use for. Well, we got 5 characters.
We could use it as a reference sheet.
Yeah. Or,
Let's do that. Let's put that in the Gadida.
alright, so
Just have Sharkicane written on all of the extra.
Sharkicade. Okay.
so
So the main focus.
I think
So we got to start at the main focus because that's where we had a lot of that. So we have backpack. We don't have traps. We don't have fire. So we have food tokens.
well, I think we're gonna just pretty much go to feature set, go to general features, and delete all of that, and put it all back in there with what we got.
All right. So oh man. Let's get rid of the traps.
All right, so
Uh,
we'll do this. Cards. So below this, we'll list all the cards we have.
What the heck
I'm gonna get rid of the crafting stuff down here.
You know what? Just
Yeah.
skip it.
Actually, can I just kill all of this stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just
Up to the radio, obviously.
yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
What the heck?
We're making Jeffrey's life difficult. Okay, so we have our weather cards.
We're not gonna need food cards.
You know what? Let me just try this.
Oops.
So this really doesn't work.
Oh, we have the weather cards right there. I mean,
Oh, we do? Okay, so we don't need that.
yeah. The only thing we have to add up here is wood, cordage, and water. I mean, probably could do food cards too.
I don't know. I kind of want to. I like the food being just a die roll because it feels completely separate.
Yeah.
Feels like a separate action.
And when we do the die roll, like one, like kind of what I had, 1 to 10 gets you +1, 11, 15 gets you +2.
Yeah.
All right. So resource cards. Let's see, wood, cordage, and water.
Okay. And then under the regions, I'm gonna put. Oops. What in the world, Jeffrey?
Yeah,
It's doing something stupid.
it's doing a lot of stupid things.
There. Okay.
And I don't know why. What the heck?
It won't let me tab over, like to mess with my list.
The whole tabbing thing is like really messed up right now.
Oh.
Alright, and tokens, we don't have traps, we don't have fire.
Yeah, get rid of.
Are we gonna
Kill those.
keep the fatigues as a token? Or
I think we should, because we talked about like. I don't know. That's a lot of tokens. You know what we could do is just list on the card. You have 3 fatigue, and hope people can count.
yeah. Alright, so tokens. We have no. Why is it indenting it that far?
I know.
I know.
Jeffrey, fix it.
Alright, that's alright.
I'm
It's like
working on it.
just the region one has to be. Alright, so tokens we have
Look
food,
how far.
and everything
Wow.
else is gonna be represented by a token too. So the wood, the cordage, the herb.
Yep.
Alright.
What was in the mountain region? Oh, it was
The mount.
medicinal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said river was cordage. And the beach was. What was the beach?
The beach was cordage. The river was water.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
I guess we'll give them a color. So we have clear, red, green, and blue.
I think green would be forest, so that could be our wood one. Whoa, why'd you jump, thing?
Yeah, I hate it. I don't know what it was. Alright,
I think Jeffrey's trying to fix things.
so we'll say, what is the green token?
Yeah. Tyler, I'm feeling a lot better about this than I was this afternoon.
I know. It seems like every idea we come up with, we love it, then we try it out, and we hate it, and then
That's to that.
I mean, I guess that's the process of making a game.
So we found stuff. We're like, hey, this is this is not going to work.
Here, actually, we'll make medicinal herbs green.
Okay.
And
The root beer one's the wood.
yeah,
Good call.
it looks more of a brownish orange. And we could say cordage will be red.
Hmm.
Water would be a blue. They just have to color something in. And food would be the clear.
Okay. So water's blue, and that's going to be a paper token.
Yeah, or yeah, paper token, I guess.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so our features, we have resource cards, survival goals.
Alright, we'll have to change this region's varying type of resources that can be collected there. Each region has 5 spots that the player can travel to. So I'll just delete this because we're going to have to note that food can be found in all regions.
Any regions?
After you guys are done
So
messing with it, I'll
regions
fix it.
are areas that players can travel to and explore to
Scavenge resources. Scavenge is a fun word, isn't it?
it is. Now, this is where we got to figure out the. I don't know. We probably don't have to know how many spaces there are.
No, I don't think so. Just that it's part of the game board.
Yeah. Let's
Just
see.
note that players can.
Every region has a food resource and one additional.
Say one resource that is native to that region. Region. Players cost.
Physical objects that what the players have collected. So source cards, wood, cordage, water, and medicinal herbs.
Yep. We may have to change some of our goals around too.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily the goals, but just the requirements.
Yeah. Food. Alright, should be 5. Yep. Alright. Survivor goals is the primary motivations for players. For every 3 successful goals, they get the component good. Each time a goal is failed, players move the suffrage counter good. One player receives an injury that hinders their failure.
Do you want to do one player or all players, or have it be card specific?
I don't think every player, because that just, I feel like if everyone loses fatigue, then all I see is them having only
Goes downhill too fast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
So how do we choose?
I mean, the original way I thought was, if they failed, then everyone rolls, and whoever had the lowest number was the one who suffered the injury.
Okay, I'm noting that underneath it.
Yeah.
What are we going to use the? Are we using the D20 for everything?
No, we'll use a 6-sided for that. So we'll have to make note of that in the components. So let's
Yes.
go down and put that D20 side, 6-sided die. Alright.
Oh shoot! I gotta. Guys, I'll be right back. I gotta turn in my peer review.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Did you guys do that?
Oh
So I'm gonna get that in. I'm gonna go rogue and not have my wife proofread it.
Oh, you had her proofread it?
Huh?
Alright, I'm gonna just make sure David submits his. David.
Yes.
After you're done.
And I guess Justin too. I'm just gonna grab a bottle of water real quick. Right back. Uh-oh, we can see your screen. We just saw what you said about us in your review.
I didn't open the.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, it's like I only gave 2 4s, and they were like, I felt bad because when I gave them, it was one of those things like during the middle of the week,
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on, and by the end of the week, it's like, oh, okay. So I was like, meh. Submitskis. Yeesh. I should probably stop sharing my screen, huh?
It's hard for me to come up with like constructive criticism to give to people.
Well, nothing really changed.
No.
You know, from one week, we were all kind of. I mean, yeah, even though we had a very broken part of our game, we were still in there trying to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the whole process of being a designer.
Yeah. I just
yeah, I still need to finish my review.
Alright, so wood is used for crafting. Cordage is used for crafting. Water used for hydration. Herbs used to heal injuries. And food used for hunger. Alright, survival goals. I think that is good. Lowest roll receives the penalty. Radio components. 3 successful months. Yep, weather cards. We can still add that -1 minus or -1 fatigue to the regions. On the regions. Good. Tokens. Oh, mention colors represented below. Good. Suffrage counter every month. That is not completed. Now, gotta figure out what we're gonna do for a suffrage counter. I was thinking, if we do the hex, we can put a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, and, adjacent from each other. And every time they fail, they just move it. So the suffrage counter can be part of the board itself.
Be easiest to do.
Yeah. Alright.
You
Components.
just have to make a token for it.
Yeah. I was thinking of just using clear 1 card. The game board. Add card. I mentioned the hex side.
You get rid of fire tokens.
Yep. 4 character standees. Now, how are we going to make them standees? That's the thing I was thinking of.
You can fold the bottom of it to make them stand up.
True. I was thinking of just like taping them or something.
Yeah. For weather cards, for radio component cards. So you said we had
Or
19,
we have 18.
18.
Yep.
That's right.
So divide, and that's, do the math. I believe that was per region.
Well, not 18 medical cards per region, 18 medical cards in the medical region.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot, they're not per regions.
So 18 medical cards. And just put whatever region they're in
Yeah.
as the mountain.
There's 18 crafting or cordage. We'll change that.
Yep.
And 18 wood. The cordage was beach. Whoops. Beach region. Forest region. Then 15 survival goal cards. 20-sided die. Let's see.
Okay, how many tokens?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. It comes with in those little containers we got. There's 20 in there, and in the bag, I believe there are 20 also. 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 24, or it's actually 25, 20. We'd probably do 20 tokens each.
Okay. And then 20 food tokens.
Yeah, we'll have 20 of each tokens. I think that should be plenty. Because we're not going to have our goals. Now we could probably do something, increase the amount on the goals, but not to exceed 20, I would say.
Yeah, because you couldn't. Probably not to exceed
I would
17.
Yeah, 17 or 15. I
Mhm.
think 15 would be a max.
Yeah, 15 would be the god awful hard one, and
Yeah.
anything lower than that can be easier.
And 20 food tokens. So
So we have a game board, 4 character standees, 4 weather cards, 4 radio component cards, 18 in the beach.
there should be another token. What did we say there was up here?
No, there's
Should be 5.
medical, cordage, wood, food.
Food, water.
Oh,
water.
We had water, and then we had the what was the other one? Shit.
Got
Do
them
we
all
want to
right here.
the scavenged thing?
Oh, for when they scavenge an area?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should probably be. Okay, so both have there were also 18 water cards. Yes.
Yep.
Whoops. Why is it doing that? You know, we'll just do it that way. $18 water cards was Alright, I gotta make note of all the changes we're making so we can update it.
Yeah, we're on version 2.0 now.
Yeah, alright, so
2 point.
2.10,
um,
2.20. Let's just be on version 5.0.
Yeah, might as well.
Alright, so let's go back up. We changed game features. Well, first of all, using Hexar. Reduced resource cards. Resource cards to 1.
We added card values to 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
You know, Roll20 is one of those things. Like, man, I really want to use that. I don't want to take the time to learn it, so I don't feel like I have time.
Card values. Range. 1 to 3. When an area is scavenged. Cannot be scavenged again until next month. Alright, now the only thing we gotta play test and figure out is their fatigue points.
Why don't we run through? Let's set a.
Yeah.
See, Jeffrey, you've got kind of the base in the forest kind of done out a little bit,
What do you mean?
just on your hex board.
I have all the regions in the base on my board.
Let's pick a goal and just kind of run through
Yeah.
1 month real quick.
Let's see, what is
I'm gonna pull up my board.
Alright, so I'm gonna. We got 4 regions, 4 colors. I'm gonna leave, for mine, I'm gonna leave the base blank. I'll just use the 4 colors for the 4 regions.
Mhm.
I'll put an X for a non-searchable area, color in a searchable area. So let's decide how many hexes. I mean, I don't think it should matter how it's set up. Just how many hexes will be used for. So let's say 10. We'll use 10 per region.
Mhm.
And
Is that 10 searchable or 10
we'll have 10 total squares, and let's say there are.
7 searchable maybe?
I was gonna say 6. 6 searchable, 4 non-searchable.
Yeah, that'll work.
So there's 10 spaces in each region.
Yeah, we'll just do that for now, and we'll have.
We'll start there and see how it works.
Yeah, have 6 searchable and 4 non-searchable.
So when you say so, if it's searchable, do we have to? Okay, so it's only resources and hunting in each area. Is that it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making.
So yeah, so we have
So we'd have like 3 hunting and 3 resource.
yes, prefect.
Probably put the lead there instead of coloring it to make it picked.
I gotta admit, man, working on this tabletop stuff kind of makes me want to learn how to play D&D.
I started D&D, but then it kind of ended, like, I guess abruptly because my friend left, like, town. So
It's one of those you have to like find a group and get kind of indoctrinated in it.
What's that?
Oh, learning how to play D&D.
Oh yeah.
I had a group of friends, but since one left, it just kind of fell apart afterwards. So.
Mhm. I've been watching Critical Role on Geek and Sundry, and it's like they have a bunch of voice actors playing a D&D campaign, and it's fantastic because they really get into their voice acting, and they're good. We're gonna have to update the setup and the turn phases and the general rules too.
Yeah. Everything's gonna get updated.
Let's run this little play test real quick and
Yeah, that sounds. Now, I think, I mean, this is just going to be a little simulation test, but eventually we're going to have, you know, an exact idea on how the board is set up.
we really need to. Did you email Justin? Well, I guess he wouldn't have known that we're doing hex pattern until because we just decided it. But
Yeah.
But if we do 10 per region and just have, like I said, the cool thing about hex patterns is that we can always add more
Yeah.
if it gets too cramped. Yeah, I just kind of have the base in the middle and then just build the region, like have an entrance.
Yeah, that's, well, I didn't put an entrance. I guess I'll put an entrance.
Just so it separates the region from the base.
Yeah.
There's a little.
I got the base as one square and four X's around it.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be the player starting points. 'Cause I don't think we ever mentioned that in the setup, players start at the base.
I don't think we mentioned that's where they start. I think we did mention that they return the base at the end of every round. Alright, just use token for players.
My wife collects these metaphysical gems, so I use those for player holders.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see. Let's say the first month you gotta go collect 10 wood, so you go to the forest.
Yeah.
So let's say they have. Well, let's start with 415 points because this is fairly small.
Yep.
So let's say they go to square one. Let's roll. I roll a 6 or a 9. Oh shoot, we gotta make up cards.
Why don't we just kind of, since we have the 20-sided die,
Yeah.
for right now, let's look at the card distribution real quick. Let's do some math,
Yeah, man.
and then because then we can just simulate it with a die roll for right now,
Yeah.
Mm.
and then.
That's usually what I do.
All right, so we have 20-sided die, and then so we would need, let's say 1 through
I like.
12.
Well,
Maybe?
I like the 1 through 10 for 1.
Yeah.
11.
I want
So 1 through 10 gets you 1 resource. 11 to 15 gets you 2, and 16 to 20 gets you 3.
Well, I was gonna say that if you use a 6-sided dice, you can do 1 to 2, and then 3 to 4, and then 5 to 6. Or just to change that around, like maybe like 1 to 3, 4 to 5, and then maybe just 6 for the 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only problem with the 6 is it gives them a less chance of.
Well, it's gonna be
Well-
card draw anyway. This is just to see what you pull.
It's just, well, I mean, I could
Just to
talk
give-
statistics with dice if you want, but it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, we can just do that. Like I'll once see if that kind of works, and then we'll actually make up the cards based on that distribution. Shuffle them in.
Alright.
I'm gonna.
So we want to use the 6-sided?
Yeah, might as well. For the card pulls, anyway.
Alright, so I roll a 2.
Are you on a searchable?
Yes, I'm on the first resource. So,
Okay.
a wood.
Let me open up I'm gonna open up an Excel sheet real quick so I can start mapping like whatever you guys say.
Yeah.
I'll so I'll go player 1
Just a token tab that.
and player 2, player 3, player 4. Okay, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4.
So. Nah, never mind.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alright. So my first roll was a 2.
So you drew 1, and you're in the forest, so that's 1.
Yep. So I got 1 wood card or token.
Okay. How many more fatigue do you have left?
I gave myself 4, so I used 1 to go to the forest. I used 1 to search. Now that cannot be searched again, so I'm going to use another 1 to move to another resource section because I have another one right next to it. I'm going to roll again to get more wood, and I roll 3. So that's
So yeah,
is that going to be 2 wood?
yeah,
Okay.
that'd be 2 wood.
And then that would be the end of the turn for player 1.
Okay.
Do you want me to do a player 2, or do you think player 1?
Let's do a full
All right.
full round.
Because player 2 doesn't feel confident with player 1 getting the wood, he's going to go to the forest to help him get wood. Now we said that the resources, once it's searched, it can't be searched again. So I only have 1 more researchable area. So that's something we're going to have to change, expanding the regions. Alright, so I'm going to spend 1 to go to the forest, spend 1 to move the spot, spend another 1 to get to the resource spot, and I'm going to spend my last 1 to roll, and I roll a 3, so that gives me 2 wood tokens, and for the sake of what we have, we'll say the goal was to get 5 tokens, and I successfully got 5 tokens.
Okay. So you have 5 tokens. So that's wood.
Yep.
In the
Now, let's say the other goal was to get 5 food, so I'm going to go to, let's say I'll go to the river, spend 1 to go to the river. My first spot is a hunting spot, so I'm going to spend another 1 to roll. I get a 6, so that gives me 3 food. And
Okay.
so that's 2 action points used. My next hunting spot is 2 spots away, so I use 1, 2, and that ends my turn. And then player 4 is going to come in and move 1, 2, 3 to another hunting spot. Use the last die to roll. Gets a 4. That's 2, which is my 5 food goal. So
And that was in one semi-round.
Yep. So one semi-round, I had my monthly goal complete.
So either we need to do one of two things. We can only extend the goals so much.
Well,
We could have it.
I think extending the regions would actually help with that.
Because it would space things out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe where's this? I mean, because I still have a lot of space left that I could use.
Okay. Do you want to maybe let's double it
Yeah. So
and see what happens? Yeah, let me get rid of that. So basically, the thing that I'm seeing here is that our resource gathering mechanic is working.
yeah, the only thing now is getting the movement.
The values.
Well, that and the the values for the monthly goals and our movement, our fatigue down.
Mm-hmm.
So what we used a 10 hex region.
So let's bump it up to 20.
I say every 10 hex we bump it up to, we should add 1 fatigue or 2 fatigue. So in a 10 hexed area, it was 4 fatigue, and that I had no problem meeting my goal. It also depends on how we space out the researchable areas and non. So in a 20 spaced one, I think.
And this is an easy goal too. Keep in mind that this would be one of the easier goals to hit.
Yeah.
It's one of our first. So yeah, but we don't want it to all be in one turn, because the other thing we could do is, get it to where if they complete the goal early, they can go on to the next one and reset. Because if they already have the goal, there's no point in
continuing. Yeah, they can basically go back to base and sleep until note that in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're moving it out to 20. Are you adding any more resource or hunting spaces, or just?
Yeah, I'm gonna add the same thing what we had. So 3 hunting, 3 resource, and 4 more non-searchable areas.
Okay.
So player 1, and we're gonna stick with 10 wood needed.
Yeah, since it's kind of spread out a little bit more.
Alright, so let's see. Player 1 is going to spend, let's say my first resource area is the first square after I enter. So I'll spend 1 to go to the forest, 1 to go to that resource, and 1 to roll. And I got a 5. So that gives me my 3 wood. And I still have 2 left, so let's say my next wood or resource is 3 hexes away, but those 2 in it are non-searchable, so I'll spend 1, 2, and stop right before that resource area. Let's say player 2 is actually going to go the opposite way and look for food. So he enters the river, spends 1 to move to a non-searchable, and spends another to go to a hunting searchable, rolls and gets a 2. So you can only have 1 food. Let's say there's another hunting next to it, spends 1 to go there, and the last one to roll, gets a 2. So that's 1.
It's a total of 2 food.
Yep. Let's see. Player 3 decides to go help with food. The next closest food is 3 spots away from the entrance, so spend 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can only roll 1, so I get a 2. So that's that. Then player 4 decides to go help with wood.
What was player 3's ending resources for his turn?
He got 1 food.
1 food. Okay.
Player
Got it.
4 is going to go to the forest to get wood. The next resource spot is 3 spots away. Well, 4, including the first resource. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not doubling up on resources, right? Once it's searched, it's searched.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, he rolls a 6, so he can get 3 wood. That puts me at 6 wood, and that is semi-round or week 1 complete. I have 6 wood and 3 food, and the goal is to have 10 wood and 10 food. So
So that's a little bit better then.
I'm about half done with my wood, and quarter of the way done with my food.
Should I change the survival card info so it only has wood, medical, cordial? Yes,
Who is this messaging?
Jeffrey.
It's me.
Oh.
You guys were just talking about your thing, so I just sent messages.
Do you want to try that? The 1 to 3, 4 to 5, and 2 to 6 to see, just to see how it works?
Sure.
Might as well. Or do you want to finish this round real quick? I mean, I think that based on, since this is the first goal their encounter, like this is kind of the.
Yeah, I think. This round's pretty much. I think that was a good round. I think spacing, adding more hex to the area. We're gonna have to put the resources in the searchable and non-searchable areas. Balance them out in the regions.
Mhm.
Now the only thing I'm worried about is if they spend, most likely they're going to go into the region and use their points to search the beginning area. So that means they're going to have to search further in if they don't meet their goal soon enough. So you have to think if they go too far in, they only got 4 action points to come back or try to make it back, or 5 to try and make it back before the base.
Mhm.
To the base.
So we should try to keep it to where they could probably, because the way I see this round turning out is they're going to finish their resources between rounds 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then they have turn 4 to get back to, between round 3 and 4 to get back to base.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that they at least have a chance. You don't want to have someone who's like 20 hexes away from the base, and you can only move 4. So.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, what did bamboo represent?
I think bamboo was like a crafting material, but
Was it like wood?
Yeah, it was another building material.
Yeah, so it would. So, any bamboo, hardwood, any wood is going to be wood. We're not going to specify what kind of wood it is.
All right. So why don't we run around with Jeffrey's numbers?
Okay.
Based on the card pulls, the distribution, and kind of see how that changes things.
All right. So
let me clear my spreadsheet here.
I'll do another 20 hex area. So I'll have 6 resources. Um, 6 hunting.
I really hope we're able to, once we send our prototype out and, based on the feedback from the other groups, we get time to update it and resubmit it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. All right,
I think, do you guys want to do that anyway? Just for our personal?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing. I know, in the discussion thing, a lot of the students or other class or members were asking, about any problems we ran into.
Mm-hmm. But we've had our share.
Yeah, I told one kid, I was like, we completely started a new game in the middle of the week.
Yeah. Well, it had the same spirit as our original game.
It did. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Actually, I'll do a 23 hexed area.
Okay.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resource and 6 wood, or hunting. So, and what is Jeffrey's setup?
It is.
I'm going to start at the base. I'll use 1 action point to go to the forest. And I'm going to say I have 5 action points. Because, given the size.
So basically, if you roll a 1 to 3 on a resource, it would be as if you pulled a ×1
Okay.
card.
So,
4 to 5 is a ×2, and 6 is a ×3.
And each roll is going to count as an action point?
Well, it'd be like if you spent the action point to search for the resource.
Yeah. So, I'm going to spend an action point going to the forest. I have a resource spot above me and 2 spots away from me, so I'm going to spend 1 to go to the one above me, and I'm going to roll, and I roll a 3.
So you get 1 resource.
So get 1 wood. Now I have 2 action points left, so I'll use those 2 to move to the next resource, and on that turn, player 2 will come in, and the next resource is 5 spots away. So he's going to spend all his action points to go to that spot and end his turn. Player 3 is going to go to the river to get food. He's going to move 2 spots, so minus 2 action points to a hunting. Roll a 4, which will get him 2. Player 4 is going to do the same thing, move 3 spaces to a food or hunting and roll a 4, so he gets 2. Player 1 is going to go and roll on the resource he's on, rolls a 5, gets 2. Then he's going to move 3 spaces to the next resource and use his last one to roll. Rolls a 2, so he gets 1.
So he's got a total of 3 wood this turn.
Yep.
Okay.
Player 2 is going to roll on the resource he's at. Rolls a 3, so he gets 1. And then he's going to spend 1, 2 action points. So he had 1, 2, 3. Going to roll his 4th, gets a 4, so that's 2. And
3 wood total.
Yep, and he has 1 more action point that he's going to move to a hunting area and stop there. And the player 2 is going to move 3 spots to another hunting, roll a 5, and gets 2.
No.
He moved 3, 4, and he's just going to move to a non-searchable area. Player 4 is going to move 2 spaces to a hunting, rolls a 2, so he gets 1, and then he's going to start heading back to the base. So spend 3 spots, or his last 3 to go back towards the base. So that was a 2-month period, and I have 2-week period. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 food. So, if I continued, I'd have to move further into the forest to the next resource, which is 3 spots away, and then roll. So I would only have 1 come back, and I wouldn't have enough action points to make it back to the base in my 4th round.
So we have to keep it a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
The region's tighter.
And again, I think that's all. It's going to depend on how we set up the regions, which, we haven't had any experience with level design because we haven't taken that class yet, but this is where,
Isn't that next month?
either next month or the month after. I know usability is coming up one next month.
Mhm.
But this is where we need to think as level designers and set the level up to where it's fair to the players, yet a challenge for them.
And we haven't had that experience yet.
No.
I mean,
So.
I think Jeffrey's trying to say something. What's up, buddy?
Yep. Sorry.
saying the option of failure should always be there. So if like you're just very unlucky, and you fail, I mean that's just something that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I want
Like if you
failure to be there, but I don't want it to be. They have to go so far to try to meet their goal that they can't make it back every round.
So why don't we kind of cut it to be, instead of 20, why don't we try and scrunch it with 15 and remove to a resource and a hunting.
So let's see if we did 15.
Because you added a resource and a hunting when you added the double.
Yeah, I doubled them, so there's 6 and 6. What if we did?
So we did
If we
15.
did a 15 hex, let's say we had. I mean, I don't want to balance it because then we could say there's 5 non-searchable, 5 hunting, and 5 resource, which. But then I think if they're in there and there's only 5 things to go to, if they roll low numbers every time, like if they roll 1 on all 5, then they're only going to get 5. Let's say they're on a hunting, they only get 5 food. So that's half of what they need. Now they have to try to spend the remaining rounds to get to the other 5.
Well, keep in mind, it's going to be a deck pool, too. So,
Yeah.
So I mean, the cards are going to be shuffled. It won't be based on a die roll. And if we see that, they are really getting screwed each time, they're drawing a card, we can always just start off with a 1, 2, and 3, and then maybe instead of having a 1 as the base unit, a 2 could be the base unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about that. The main thing that I'm seeing is that I want to try around with 15 to see how it works.
Now, the thing I didn't add in was the weather. We gotta figure out, a reasonable fatigue amount that'll actually work for them. Because if you add the weather in there, then if you got a 15-sized grid, and let's say you got 5 fatigue points, now you're down to 4. I just see the further they go out, or they're not going to want to go out further because they know they're not going to make it back in time.
That's what I think. I think 20 is a bit too much if you get to that edge, but 15 might work. And you got to remember too, we want that suffrage counter to actually mean something.
Yeah.
So if they fail 1 or 2, it's not a big deal.
you could just have bad luck.
Yeah, you could just have bad luck. You ever played Pandemic?
No.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll watch that on tabletop, and you'll see.
Is it on tabletop?
It's on tabletop, yeah. And usually these co-op versus games, the game is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So.
I think the main focus we got to figure out is how to set up the region.
The board.
Yeah.
So we've went from completely broken to pretty much works.
Yep.
To let's see how to set up the region, all in the span of about a couple hours.
I think that's
I'm good with that.
probably our weak point now is setting up the region so it's fair to the players yet fair to the game, and then figuring out the fatigue.
Yep, figuring out the fatigue or the base unit of the card.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost thinking, like, I want to say the food is used for fatigue, so I guess for every food, I want to say, well, no, because it's 2 food per person, so that doesn't say every food would count as a fatigue point.
Yeah, but then you have to have them figuring out a way to keep track of that.
Yeah.
So you're running into that over our demographic.
I mean, playing as myself as 4 characters, a little hard to keep track of how many fatigues you used and who you're playing as and all that. But when every person's their own character, it'll be a lot easier for them to keep track of that.
So if we went from, let's see, I'm kind of envisioning if we had 15 spaces, and we have 5 of each, and then what if we kept that, but started the kind of the distribution that that Jeffrey came up with, and that'll transfer over to our card decks, but we set the base unit at 2, so we'll say maybe instead of 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Let's try that and see if they're able to get at least close.
Well, if we just go by what I had last time, I was at 7 in week 2. So if we just add, 1 more to each of the ones I had, I should be well beyond the required amount I need. So
that's for the base easy goal too.
Yeah. So, we could say that one's the easiest of them all, and then all the other ones we increase the amount.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'm thinking is, we got all this space. I feel like we should use most of it. I'm just trying to figure out a way that we could use it and they can travel around. I almost want to say they can get special ability cards that would allow them to stay out in the forest, and if they're out, I don't know, because if they don't come back to drop off their supplies, then that'll affect their goal.
The only other thing we could do if we wanted to use more space is we would have to add a waypoint.
Yeah.
That would bring them back to base. I guess in the story you could say, I found a game trail. It takes less fatigue for me to walk down the game trail than to traverse, terrain.
I was thinking they found some horses or donkeys to ride on.
I thought that maybe, and this is just an idea because I don't know exactly how I would implement it, but it'd be kind of I guess you could set up a mini kind of camp, I guess outside of the actual camp. But it'd be limited to 1, and I guess you have to pick it up and carry it with you if you wanted to move camp somewhere else. It'd be kind of a little fire, and then it could just be out somewhere else. And
I'm gonna change rooms. I'll be right back.
That is, that's what I was thinking of. Maybe they build shelters out in the regions, but the only thing is getting their food or the resources back to the base in time to complete the monthly goal.
I was thinking if they had the mini camp, then maybe they could just go there if they run out of time or something. But at the same time, maybe carrying around this extra camp just consumes extra space in your inventory.
I'm almost just tempted to say, at the end of every month, the island's magical, so everyone gets teleported back to the base and start over. I like the idea of having to, move back themselves, but I see it really challenging with the fatigue points they have and the amount of space we're giving them.
But I don't feel like there's that much challenge then, because then you can just pretty much do whatever you want until the time hits. Be well, this is what we need, so everyone just go wherever you need to go and just.
If you
try and get as fast as possible.
If you collect your goals in the first 2 rounds, that's good because then you can spend the last 2 coming back. But if you're on round 4 and you still need 1 food, and you got 1 guy out in the forest trying to get food, and he's working his way to that outside resource or hunting spot, he gets there and it's his last turn. He gets food. Now all the food he has, plus what he just got, is useless because he's not back at base to contribute.
But it could also be the player's fault. If one player was doing something else that he didn't technically need to do, and then he needs to go grab food, and it's kind of they messed up and they just get a penalty for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I want that to happen. Maybe like 2 rounds out of the whole game where they're really stuck out there because they didn't plan out their travels. But I don't. It seems like every round is going to be like that. But it also depends on the goals. So I think that's something we should probably go to look at. We should probably move on. Got the setup and all that. But I am, however, enjoying this setup a little more than the other ones.
I enjoy the setup more. I feel like there's more like exploration.
Yeah, I've had like probably 4.5 hours of sleep in the past 2 days because I've been up just testing and figuring out some way to make this game work. I feel like this is finally gonna let me sleep tonight.
Yep, I would agree. I really like the idea of the hexes.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, for the weather, I feel like hindering spaces that you can't travel on because of weather would be something cool to add in. Instead of reducing how many spaces you can move, it's just you just can't move on these spaces because of the weather, like a flooding or whatever.
But how are you gonna determine? Like, say you draw the rain card. How are you gonna determine what spaces?
Well, whenever you like initially draw the board, it could be like the spaces that are affected by weather could be designated by like X's or something, like X's or Y's or something. Be like X for this weather, Y for this weather, and Z for this weather, and then based on that, is there spaces you can't go on with the weather card out?
Yeah, I do like that idea. Having X, Y, and Z in the regions, and the weather card will say this is what is affected. But again, that's where it's going to come down to our level design skills, which none of us really have any. Setting it up. So, I think that's why I feel like we should have a level design class before we did this.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't expect everyone to make, levels.
Yeah.
That might be my goal for tonight and tomorrow to come up with some kind of level.
Well, I'm sure I can run through some like levels, like some designs for it, and see what I can do with weather on some tests.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Make note of that. Weather affects X, Y, and Z areas. Come up with another fatigue system. The instruction, or the instructor put our grade up.
I haven't gotten an email yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I have it like open like all the time to make sure I never miss an email. Because I'm bad with emails, so I just keep it open all the time now.
Alright. Michael's setup for his region design might work. Let's see. We play test that. Right off of the computer. Alright, let's see. I'm going to spend one action to go to the entrance. And I need wood, so I'm going to spend one more to go there. And I roll a 2. And if we go on your setup, I get, we're going to change that, so I get 2 wood. So that's gone. And I use 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5, 3, I get 3 wood. Right? No, 2. So that was gone. Now, player 2 comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fast forward back to 1. So 1, 2, 3. I get a 5, so that's 2 more. 3, 4, 5. Player 2. 1. 1 gets 2. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. So he can go back to base. Round 3. Player 1 rolls a 5, so he gets 2, 3, 4, 5. And round 4, 1. So that way worked out. I had 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. I got all 10 food from the 5 resource decks.
Oops. Sounds good.
Oh, did you just hear my playtest?
I came in on the tail end of it. I
Oh.
haven't.
Alright, well I just did a test on your region setup, and if this kind of setup actually does work a little better. You know, if we did, they roll a 1, 2, or 3, they get 2 tokens. 4, 5, they get 3 tokens, and a 6, they get 4. I rolled 2s and 3s, so, and a 5, and you know, so I collected all 10 resources, and I was able to get the 2 players I had out back to base.
Sounds good.
So
Are we going to say that's kind of the direction we want to go with it?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, 5 does sound like a good number. Let me try 4 food, because I did wood. So if player 1 comes in, spends 1 to come here, spends 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and he spends 5 to roll. He rolls a 3, so he gets 2 food, and that area is gone. Player 2 comes in, 1, 2, 3, spends 4 to roll, gets 2, so he has 2 food. He has 1 more spot to move, so he's going to go there. Player moves, we go 1, 2, search, 3, rolls a 2. That's 2. That's gone. And let's say, let's go 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll wait. Player 2 can go 1, 2, 3, rolls a 4. That's gone, so we got 3, 4, 5. And beginning of round 4, player 1 is going to roll, so he gets 5, so that's 3 for him. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he goes back to base. Player 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and he goes back to base. And at the end of the month, they have 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 food. So I think
Eating like kings.
that works. That setup works with them rolling for 2, 3, or 4.
Okay. Then we can just kind of, since we have a base unit, we can just bump up the goals and difficulty from there.
Yeah. Well, this is for 10 of an item. So, and they just made it with 10 based on the rolls. Now, if they were able to roll 6s, then they would be able to finish that in probably 2 rounds if they got lucky enough. So then they can head back. Now, the only other option I want is, if a player can finish a goal or almost finish it, if there's 2 people in the region and let's say end of round 2, they're almost done. So one person can say, you know what, I'm going to go help someone else. So he can leave and enter another region to help someone else on round 3 and 4. I don't know if that needs to be added, but I like the idea of others going to help others. Well, yeah, I guess that's 2 people going to the same region to help each other get their stuff.
Yeah, we can have up to 2 people in the region.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of.
And the thing Jeffrey mentioned was for the weather. Let's say, are you in the region idea?
I'm not. I can't be.
Yeah. Jeffrey had an idea of the weather. It affects certain tiles, and I asked him, well, how would you determine how that is? And he said, what if there was like an X, a Y, and like Z tiles, and the weather card that you draw, if it said rain, it'll say rain affects tiles X. So those tiles are inaccessible for that month.
Okay, I like that.
So, it'll make it harder for, if a player comes in and they want to get up here to this hunting or this resource, they would have to, move like this way, which could be challenging. It might set them up for failure.
That's good, though.
It is. I think a strategic move would be, instead of spending all your points to search early on, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 2, you would go 1, search 2, 3, 4, search 5. Hopefully you get what you need. Then you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's the end of round 3, and you'll be able to make it back. While player 2 can come in and get hunting from here and from here. I think within, if your rolls are lucky, within the 4 spaces you can get what you need and get the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All right. Well, if we're comfortable with this, we should probably start updating the GDD so that the next meeting, whether that be, since this meeting has actually gone really well.
Yeah, I think tomorrow would be another meeting.
You think you want to do one tomorrow too?
Yeah, because
Okay.
if we're gonna update, we could spend a little more time on the GDD now and finish it up tomorrow, and then Thursday, Justin should be in here. Says he's in the meeting right now. Anyways, he'll be here so we could discuss with him about the art.
Is he online? No, he's not online. He's just included in the meeting.
Oh, okay. So we can discuss with him about the art, and I think Thursday, we could possibly do a meeting Friday, and Saturday we could probably knock out the rule book for Sunday.
Yeah, especially since we have, card values that seem to work.
Yeah.
I
I think no more than 10. 10 should be the cap for
The resource cap.
yes that they need to collect.
And we could go and make it a little bit to where like you have to get some of the harder goals would be 10 wood, 10 cordage.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, the other thing I was thinking is, I feel like the players should have some kind of abilities. I was thinking, you know, one player will get an extra fatigue, maybe another player can carry, you know, an extra back inventory space. Another player will be able to collect an extra food.
Yeah, well, now that we've got the core down, we can add those and it'll be
Yeah,
good to go.
I think the players should have abilities.
Okay. Well, we can definitely talk about that more tomorrow. Let's just make our changes that we did tonight
Yeah.
into the GDD.
Alright, well, I okay everything above rules and mechanics, so the game features. I'm okay with that. I think that looks good. Well,
Okay,
the weather cards will.
Yeah, change those.
Yeah. Heavy downpour effects. Either. Say hex.
I just want to say I won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, you got your.
Not my sword practice, but I'm supposed to be going and visiting my grandma tomorrow.
Okay.
Alright.
That should be alright. What's tomorrow? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to cut out a little bit early on tomorrow, like about 9 o'clock.
Okay. As long as we, I think if we work on this for maybe another hour, half hour, something like that, we could probably get a good chunk of it done and finish it up tomorrow.
Yep. I'm gonna get rid of this area stuff, so we don't need that anymore. Okay. So where's everybody at?
Just finished fixing the weather cards.
Editing some of the.
So the weather is not -1 fatigue.
Spiral
It's just.
It blocks.
Yeah.
Another thing for food. Should I get rid of like the berries and fruits thing?
Yeah, we're not, like I said, we're not going to specify exactly what the food is. It's just called food. We're not going to say if it's deer, berries, fruits, whatever.
Yeah, it's just food.
I got food.
Alright, so regions, that's good. Forest, mountain, yeah. River, beach, good. Tokens, good. And suffrage counter. That'll probably just be hex. Probably just some spot on the board. Which will be mentioned probably in the specific details. Game components, 1 game board, 4 character standees, 4 weather cards, 4 radio component cards, 18 water cards, capitalize these, 18 medical, 18 portage, 18 wood, 20 tokens, for everything, 15 survival goal cards, 20-sided die, 6. Are we going to use the 20-sided or not?
Yeah, the 20-sided is going to be that's for your food.
Okay.
The 6-sided is going to be to decide who gets the bad when they fail a goal.
Okay, so the rolls that I did, I was using the 6-sided to decide or how many resources I got.
Yeah, and that was simulating
Okay.
based on the distribution of times however many.
Okay, but we're going to use the 20-sided die to determine how many they pick.
How many food they pick. The other is going to be the cards.
Okay. Alright, so. Oh, I feel like we just delete it and do it all over again.
Welcome to development.
Alright, we'll do. Should probably delete this all. These pictures, get rid of them.
Yep, we'll have to have new pick. Oh,
Yeah.
I can put the region concept in there that we did. Let me.
Yep. We'll do it after we type everything up.
Yeah, I'm gonna download it and
Alright.
upload it as a JPEG. Because remember that bad thing happened last time.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna get the instructions out again. Assignment 2. Alrighty, let's go down to setup. This should be your first section. Explain how to set up the game. This is how to set up your players. The player, not the process by which the board or cards are constructed. And then I'll take what you have here for the regions design and apply that to the mat to make a full world.
Okay.
I'll probably do that tomorrow before we come to the meeting.
And you can always you have the region hexes that the players can move.
Yeah.
You can always color stuff in around it to make it look a little more.
Yeah. That's what I'll probably do. Alright, so setup. If you are doing a board game, make sure to describe the board with a graphic. Alright, so that'll be tomorrow's thing. So setup. What's the first thing the players will do?
Sort the cards into their regions.
Alright, so sort cards into the regions.
Draw player card.
Was there any other sorting? Just the cards in their regions.
You got to shuffle the.
Well, yeah, I'll say shuffle and sort. Sort cards into the region. After you do that, I guess all players, draw a character card. Then roll to determine. Then we're going to probably have to go back and fix the flow chart a little bit.
Yeah.
Who goes first? Flip.
I won't be that bad.
No, because a lot of our.
A lot of the game is still the same.
Month goal and weather card. All players draw a character card and place them in the base.
Holy cow.
Wow.
I heard that one.
Now we're still gonna include the survival pack with the food and the water.
I don't think we need to. Like, just based on our play test, they were able to gather what they needed.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, if 2 people go and try to get wood, and 2 people go to get food and water.
I'm gonna go unplug something real quick. I'll be right back.
I think we should still keep the backpack with the survival.
Yeah.
Players receive 2 food and 2 water from survival. This will be token. The roll to determine who goes first. They flip them off the gold card and weather card. And
This is just like the setup for the game.
yeah, like you open the box and exactly how you're gonna set it up.
Gotta read the rule book.
After you read the rulebook. Let's see, anything else? Because I feel like then this is starting the game. You know, it's gonna begin.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Begin semi-round 1 or begin round 1.
Round uno.
Oh, here we go. Turn sequence. Players need to complete 4 semi-rounds to complete 1 round. Players play takes place during several months. Each month is broken down into 4 rounds. At the beginning of each month, a new survival goal is chosen, as well as a weather condition that will affect all players for the duration of the month. Which means, no, not that. I want shooter to complete that.
Now I gotta press Control Z.
You know what?
You're breaking all my hard work.
Alright, you fix that. What did I do? Open a new page. Don't want to do that. Alright. Make that like that one. Gotta get in like that.
It's gonna be such a pain.
Alright, player 1 chooses what region to explore.
They spend an action point to explore a region, don't they?
Yeah, so when they go from the base to that region, that's -1 to each.
Yeah, to get rid of tokens since we're not using tokens anymore.
Within that region, players can choose to search for resources.
That's what we're gonna have to change is the spaces.
Yeah. Alright, so player chooses to delve deeper. I feel like this whole thing that could just be changed.
Rest in peace, hard work.
Welcome to game development.
Alright, so that works for us. So within that region, players can choose to search for resources. If our player,
How much fatigue do we have per round now?
we're gonna start with 5. If player searches for
or if they choose to land on to go to a resource space.
Yeah. The player chooses to resource. Probably search for resource and food. If a player chooses to land on a resource space, they can search resources by drawing the card.
Yeah.
And on the card, it's going to say +1, +2, or +3. Or was it 2, 3, 4?
Was it 2, 3, 4?
I don't remember.
I know
It could be
I
2,
think it was 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So if a player chooses to land on a resource space, they can search for resources by randomly or by
Drawing the first card from the resource deck.
drawing the top card from the resource deck. The number card and the amount of resource cards, tokens, what did I do? God damn it. What did I do? Why is it opening
Just a
up?
backspace.
Okay. If a player chooses to land on a, should we call it hunting or food?
Let's say food.
All right.
We'll just keep it all generic.
Space. They roll
In parentheses, you can put H if you want.
20 sided die to determine the amount of food probably don't have to specify that in here.
No, that goes into the
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What kind of rolls? Because I can go down there and change it real quick. What kind of rolls determines what?
A 1 to a 10 gets you 1 food. 11 to 15 gets you 2, and 16 to 20 gets you 3.
Alright, so I'm going 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Players have 5 fatigue points
Alright, I fixed it.
per survivor. Turn sequence ends when a player uses all their fatigue. Survival phase. That seemed like a logical, understandable turn sequence.
let me read through it again. Players need to complete 4. So play takes place between several months. Each month is broken down to 4 rounds. At the beginning of each month, survival goals showed as well as a weather condition will affect players in the Player 1 chooses what region to explore. Players can choose to search for resources and food. Move further into the region. If the player chooses to land on a resource space, they can. That needs to be indented, since that's part of this thing. Well, since they're not like having they don't have cards to hold.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to have it in a hand anymore.
True. Yeah. True. It's just their tokens.
What about like you could say tokens in hand?
Yeah, tokens in your hand. Turn sequence ends when when.
And I was thinking we'll have those 5 extra cards left over. So instead of using them for character descriptions or something like that, well, no, we can actually. We'll say that on the card there'll be the character name and their ability, and then like their backpack, I guess.
Yeah.
Where they can store their tokens.
I'm gonna put a player's turn sequence ends. When the player uses all their fatigue.
Alright.
And then we should also put. Well, that's where those survival phase in after.
Yeah.
Each play. Now, is this where we're going to add, like, if they have the stuff already, they can end it early by getting to the base?
Yes, we should add that. If players complete the required goal early, they can return to base.
Also, it says stored resource cards. You want to say cards to tokens?
Yeah.
Yeah, after each player completes 4 rounds, players then count resource tokens to complete survival.
It says tokens and tokens.
So get rid of to complete survival goals. If the goals are not met or not completed, the failure consequences will take place. The suffrage counter goes down 1 notch. Right. Now I don't know if maybe fatigue should affect them, because I feel like if they fail a goal and they lose a fatigue, if it's just pushing the boundaries of them completing their goals with 5 fatigue, I feel like if they're down to 4, then they're just going to keep failing every goal unless they get a simple goal.
What if they lose, instead of for the entire round, maybe they lose it just for one semi-round?
Yeah, that might actually work better. I don't know if that'll be hard for them to track, though.
You know what we could do is just take that out and just have it simply be, you know what, you screw up, your suffrage counter goes down lower.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's just do that.
Right.
I think it'd be a cleaner game that way. And then if we
can try and add it like at the end after we
play test it a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll see with the instructor if he has anything to say about that.
Well, our document is going to be so much different than the one we get back.
I just can't believe it. I mean, I went over that. We went over that document like 50 times to make sure there was nothing wrong with it.
It was also like 2 a.m.
It was.
So, and we were staring at it, for. It's kind of like you and I this morning. We were just kind of staring at this document, going,
I know.
This isn't working. And then I drove home and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to think about this for at least 20 minutes. And I got home and I was like, I wonder what a hex pattern would look like.
When I told you I was going to get off to go get something for lunch, I got off and then I walked to the fridge. I opened the fridge and I was like, you know what? I just remembered something about the game. So I walked right back and I sat down and I didn't even eat. Next thing you know, it was like 7 o'clock. I was like, oh, I got a meeting in an hour. I was up probably since like 7, working on this since 7 o'clock this morning. So I've spent all day sitting at this table with a damn laptop in my face.
That's what it turns into, man.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking over I was. It was funny because like every time I got a spare few minutes at work, I just jumped in the GDD. Like, there's Tyler.
I jumped in
What's
it
up, buddy?
like probably a minute before you actually came into it. Alrighty.
I don't know if the instructor is going to realize that on some of our like survival cards we just had we required too much than actually you could get.
Yeah, that's what I'm so worried about him being like, you said you need 10, but you only have 9, so...
Well, I started doing a play test right afterwards, and I was like writing down on my cards, and I'm sitting there, and I looked at the first goal, and I was like,
I don't know how I
Yeah,
missed that
that's
one.
what happened to me.
When I did mine, I don't even know how I missed that.
I was wondering, I was like, how did he even?
Well, I kept thinking of 12 because I kept saying to myself, I was like, how many cards are there per pile? I was like, 12. So I was sitting there, I counted out, 3 piles for each region. I counted out 12, 3, 6, 9, 12 times. So, the 12 got stuck in my head. So I was like, so there's 12 wood, there's 12 food, there's 12 this. So I was like, when I saw I had to get 10, I was like, okay, so there should be 2 wood left over. And I was like, why do I have 9 wood? I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, oh my god. Not enough.
It's no more wood.
But it's alright.
Okay.
I mean, I expect us to make mistakes.
Well, if we didn't, I think our. I'm hoping that since we have to turn in an updated GDD.
Yeah, I mean, he did say in the instructions that whatever, I think the updated would be the grade we get, or he'll average to 2 hours, something like that.
Yeah, so I'm not.
So,
Since we've addressed a lot of these issues.
I mean, I'm thinking at least we'll get a C on the original GDD, and
Yeah.
updated should bump us up to a B plus maybe in the B. We'll see. I don't expect an A, and I sure hope it's not failing. So
Yep.
I would
Why not? We got in
hate myself.
If we got an F, we'd
I
just be like,
had 1 F
F.
my full time in Full Sail, and that was last class. I think it was like the first or second assignment. I got an F, and I was like, I thought the world was ending.
I get lots of Fs. I suck at tests.
I'm hitting like a 3.8 GPA right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I was 3.68, 67.
So I think we are absolutely capable of getting an A.
Yeah.
I think that whatever we get, as long as we're working like this and actually getting stuff done and learning from our mistakes, I'm not going to sweat it that much, and I'm kind of the
Yeah.
want to get that A kind of guy. But with something like this, I mean, it's all subjective. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. It's first GDD. I don't even know half the time what we're doing. Just jot stuff. I feel like this is not how it's supposed to be, but then again, every company has a different way of doing it.
Yeah, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, really.
Yeah.
All right, so we got our turn sequence down. 3 consecutive goals completed. If so, draw a radio component. Players win. Did we counter read zeros? All players lose. All right, cool.
Yep.
So general rules.
Players will check to see if we can effectively survival goals in a minute. Yep. Players flip new survival card and goal. Yep. Begin next round. Yep. General rules. Survival pack. I think we should give them 2 food and 2 water to start the beginning of the game, just so they got something.
Okay.
If they're crashing from a plane, they should be able to, recover something from it. So.
Sure.
Survival
Get some
pack.
scrap metal.
What's up, buddy?
I said you get some scrap metal.
Yeah.
Fashion a shiv and start stabbing bitches.
Right. This will symbolize the resources that the player can carry at any given time at the beginning of the game. The pack contains 2 water, tokens and 2 food tokens per player. As players gather more tokens, it will be stored in the survival pack. A total of 7 resource or 7 tokens can be carried at one time. If the player goes over this limit, 1 token must be discarded. Placed. We don't need that.
It's placed with all the rest of the tokens.
Yeah.
Placed back in the token house.
Back into the respective token.
So you're saying more than 2 people can occupy a region now?
No.
Nope, 2 is still the max.
Okay.
So
There's no like area 3 or anything, so I can get rid of the specific areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the hex pattern now.
Seven inventory slots. I'm going to Vegas to play some slots. You ever see that movie, The Beavis and Butthead Do America?
Oh, that.
And they're on the plane, and the old lady's
Mhm.
like, I'm going to Vegas, and I'm going to play with some slots. And he's like, yes, I want to play with slots.
There you go.
Alright, regions. Regions are areas on the board that players can collect resources from. Only 2 players can occupy a region. Regions consist of 3 card decks that players can choose. That is down to a resource deck. Let's say resource deck and food gathering spaces, yes. Spaces that Alright. Regions consist of a resource deck.
Well, regions are areas of the board.
Are they like forest, mountain, beach, river?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're.
And so there's the resource deck, which contains the wood or the cordage,
Mhm.
whatever.
Whatever resources
Yeah.
akin to that region.
Yep.
I go to this last line here that highlighted it.
The player can choose which deck to roll from.
We already need that.
And then we'll change this. So we said resource deck, which would be, whoa,
Just don't worry about it, I'll fix it.
right. So we would have wood for the forest. What do we say? Cordage, or what was it?
As a beach.
Yeah,
Right.
cordage was the beach. Yep. The river was water. And the mountain was. What was the mountain?
Medicinal.
Medicinal
yes.
herbs. Herbage.
Alright, fix that. We should also note regions. We should note that there's 5 regions or resource spots per region.
Yes, we should.
Resource taxes.
Right.
This is I should probably put that here. Each region has 5 resource spaces and 5 food spaces. Which one? Daisy. Come on. Okay, so. Oh, we should note the areas they cannot move on. Regions also have spaces marked with X, Y, and Z. These spaces are non-searchable, but can be affected by weather. So there's 15 spaces, 5 hunting, 5 resource. So there's 5. The buildings also have 5 spaces marked. Okay. Resource deck.
Okay, so this is where we have to come up with the deck makeup.
Is that in here? Is that down in the general rules? Or specific detailed?
I guess that would be in specific details, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Failed survival goals. The suffrage counter goes down. 1 gets closer. This represents current conditions. Survivors enemy at any time as they fail goals. Condition worsens. If it reaches 0, the survivors succumb to the elements and that time end.
What about completed survival goals? Do we need like a survival goals header?
Yeah.
It's just kind of random stuck in the middle there.
Yeah.
So we have failed survival goals would go under that. Oops. And then we
I
have.
feel like you probably delete some of this because it's kind of repetitive. You know, we said if it reaches 0,
Said in
they
the turn
lose.
sequence.
Yeah, but
We
like it says here if it reaches 0, they lose, and then it says if it reaches 0, they lose. I feel like
we don't need that extra one.
Yeah, we have it too many times. So this represents the survivors' lives, I guess.
Let's say the quality of the survivors' lives.
Weather. Weather cards affects fatigue. We don't need that. We have rain. And high tide. This affects area X, Y, or Z in the 4s.
Well, I got to be specific. Like, which one does rain affect?
Well, yeah, I'm
Or
gonna.
are we just saying all of the X, Y, and Z ones?
Well, I
Are we
mean,
doing?
we could say just like one, but it could, if we have X, it only affects X, whatever is marked with X, and all the non-searchables are X's. I feel like
We
that
could do a die roll on that. Like,
Yeah, well, I was thinking, if we had an X, Y, and Z, it would kind of simulate, cloud movement throughout the sky. So,
Mhm.
if it's raining one month, maybe it's just raining in these certain areas, and the next month, if you get the rain card again, then, maybe the clouds shift and it's in another spot. It kind of just, kind of makes it like a puzzle every round for them,
Yeah.
to maneuver around, determining how. I'm thinking maybe if they roll, if they flip the rain card, then they roll, and if X is a 1 or 2, Y is 3 or 4, Z is 5 or 6.
yeah, we have to note that though.
Yeah. And
Just note that under the rain, and then high tide is the same thing in the other two regions. I like that. That's a fantastic idea, Jeffrey.
I'll make a note on why we're doing
Yeah.
that, because it creates a puzzle for the
Mhm.
players.
It's
Weather
freaking awesome.
creates puzzle. So, there's. So we should actually go note that up in the turn sequence too.
Yes, we should, and that would go right after the weather card is drawn.
Yeah, flip monthly golden weather card. Players roll if rain or high tide is chosen. Players roll 6-sided die and add effects based on what was rolled.
Should you put the effects up here too?
Yeah,
I don't think we need to put the effects in the game setup part
No,
because that'll.
that'll come down here. So how to note that? If one,
Make sure you put on the whatever die it's rolling on.
yeah.
Should we use a separate dice? I mean, we have a bunch of them. Is there one we haven't used yet?
Let's see. I think we have one of each. We have a 12-sided, a 6-sided.
Side would be fun.
This looks like a 7-sided, a 20. Then the triangle.
Let's say, what's the weird little triangle one?
That's got.
It's a 4-sided.
Yeah, but it's got like 1, 2, 3 on one side, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4.
Well, I can describe how it works real quick. You roll it, and since it can't actually land on the tip actually tells you what you're rolling. So it'll always land on a flat side,
Oh, okay.
and you go based on what the tip, like the top of it says, which will always be all the same number.
Yeah. I don't think that one has any use for us. Then we have a.
We're not going to fuck with that one right now. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
It's Tuesday, week 3.
you just go right back in the container. Then we have a 90-sided with values of 10, which that's more like a top.
Mm-hmm.
That's like sit there and spin that around. Pick up
Use the
jacks.
12-sided die.
I think the 20-sided and the 6 should be enough. I mean, then we have a 9-sided with a. I
You have a 9-sided die.
Yeah, it's like a triangle or a smaller top or diamond. 2 of them. But maybe, I think the 6 and the 20.
We could use a 6-sided for both the Well, we're not using the fatigue thing anymore,
Yeah.
so we could use a 6-sided just for weather.
Yeah. Alright. Roll if should say players roll 6-sided die. If 1 or 2 area X is affected. If 3 or 4 area Y is affected. If 5 or 6 area Z is
And just copy that onto the
Yep.
high tide. Or I think
yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna make Jeffrey mad. There's circles instead of there's squares instead of circles.
Oh yeah, it's circles in there.
There we go.
And then the clear card, clear weather.
I'm getting rid of this traps
Negative.
section,
Yeah.
so we're not going to use that.
Actually, do we even need to replenish cards? Aren't we just putting them back in the pile after we get them?
Yeah.
Oh. So we don't really need this for replenish cards either.
Just reshuffle cards back into the.
The only thing that would be probably replenished is the tokens. So just change that to replenish tokens.
So I'm looking at our flow chart.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
We're I think the grand total will have to change the titles on 2 of them and remove 1 from another.
Okay.
That's it.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Good. Alrighty. General rules, that's good. Detailed rules. Alright.
I messed with this a bit already,
Yeah.
but you might want to double check it.
Yeah. First thing,
We got to get rid of all these -1 fatigues.
yep, it's just going to be lower suffrage counting. I guess we'll. You guys do that.
It's just-
I'll go through and see if they need. Let's see. Players need to build a shelter by the end of the month to have a chance to survive. Collect 10 wood, 8 cordage, 6 food, 6 water. So I have to shorten the cordage. Maybe the wood a little bit. Because you'll probably send each person go to a separate region to.
Mm-hmm.
That might be able to work.
Because we don't have medicinal either, and food can be gotten anywhere.
Yeah, true.
So, but maybe since it's their first goal,
Yeah, maybe we'll do
8.
Yeah, well, -2 from each. So 8 wood, 6 cordage. I think that's plenty.
Yeah.
Fail. Let's say if failed. If failed, players have no shelter. I'll just say lose suffrage. Doesn't need to say they have no shelter. Lower suffrage counter by 1. Card 2. Players need more food and water to survive.
I changed all the lower suffrage counter by 1.
Alright. Let's see. Collect 10 food, from 10 water to survive the month. I think that's doable.
All right, I'm gonna jump out for a second. I got a baby that's scared of the storm, so I'll be right back.
Okay. It failed. Players.
This else is -2 food from every food supply. So when we switch that one to the
I think that
suffrage counter.
I think that one could stay. I think they can lose.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be like -1 food from, but I think we should change it. Rodents and insects that spoiled. Food supply, so -1 food from. Yeah, I guess food supply, but we might have to word that so, like at the end of the month, they lose 1 food per player. Let me see. If failed, players suffer under starvation. Lower suffrage counter by 1. The food being left out has attracted some unwanted visitors. Players need to build a storage unit for their food. Players need to collect 7 wood and 5 cordage. I think that's good. Every failed goal, lower suffrage counter. Every other state of survival. Perfect. These requirements are needed for players to survive. Regardless of thinking now is if even they need to collect that 2 food and 2 water every month for themselves to eat. Oh, I would think so. Because if it's 2 food, 2 water for them to eat per month, why would they need to go out and gather more food?
Where you at?
Well, I'm just thinking of, we said they need up here, the state survival requirement of 2 food and 2 water per player. So if every month they need 2 food automatically and 2 water for everyone to eat, then every month they need 8 food and 8 water. So is there really a reason to give them other goals where they have to collect more food if all they consume is 8 food and 8 water every month?
I think the easiest way to deal with that is just have it go by the goal cards and get rid of that base requirement.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll just get rid of that. Monthly survival goal cards. So we'll just put that because that's going in the updated GD. Remove required base food and water. Made no sense to have them collecting water and having to collect more.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Alright, let's see. So we can say also for card 3, they need to collect 7 wood, 5 cordage, and say 5 food.
Fail wrote.
Um,
I'm just going to go -1 from the suffrage counter on this too.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the flavor text. I think that's,
Yeah, but
but we don't need the.
What the freak? What is going on?
I don't know.
Why is that in black?
Because it was born that way. I've got that stupid Lady Gaga song stuck in my head.
Which one?
Born This Way.
I don't listen to Lady Gaga.
I don't either. But I have a wife who
Yeah.
likes dance music.
Yeah,
She's a good dancer. She's a fantastic dancer.
there's a song that I don't know why they play it so many times. You might have heard it. It's called like Cheerleader or something like that. Oh,
Can't stand that song.
every time it comes on, every time my girlfriend turns the radio on, that's all that's playing. I sit there and I just listen. I have to listen to it, you know, because out of respect, I just let her listen to the radio because she doesn't prefer. I mean, she doesn't hate my kind of music. I'm a classics kind of guy, but she prefers her stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be on one station, so switch to another one. It'll come on that one. Like 4 times in a row in the car, we listened to it, and then I had it stuck in my head, and now I feel like I'm gonna get stuck back in my head. Alrighty. Oh, here we go. Use no coat for pillow. I'll get that song stuck in my head. -1 from the suffrage counter. 10 wood, 8 cordage. I think that's reasonable.
Yep.
Failed. I'm gonna put if failed in front of all these. If failed. If failed. Suffered from back pain, -1 fatigue, or suffrage. Heavy winds have caused it. Now, do we need this medical in the if failed? Or should it just be the lowered suffrage counter?
Just lowered suffrage counter.
Right.
I'm also going to mention up in as the turn sequence.
Yeah.
That once a region is searched, that it gets that little ransack token on it.
Good idea. Forgot about that. While moving around base, players have disturbed a beehive and suffered from some nasty bee snakes. Players need to collect 5 medicinal. They're just collecting.
A medicine and a lot more water.
Yeah, so we'll bump that up to 10 medicinal herbs, and we'll do 8 water. So the other ones, if failed, lower suffrage counter. Card 7, to maintain their sanities, players have an activity night. Players pass out a little too close to fire, which causes them to suffer minor burns. To heal the burns, collect 8 medicinal herbs and 8 water. If failed, untreated the burns can cause that. Lower suffrage counter by 1 round every round untreated. Nah, we don't do it that way. Everyone has been eating off large leaves in their filthy hands. We need to bake some plates by collecting 10 wood.
Yep, wood plates.
Splinters in your mouth.
And then the finely shaved plates. They're sanded down pretty good.
Yeah. Don't forget
Looks
the large wooden spoon to start whooping some asses.
yeah.
Might change that card around. That's the. We could use, say, some cordage and some wood maybe to make some straw bowls or something like that. We'll say cordage to make some. We need to.
Oh yeah, because you can weave baskets
Yeah.
out of cordage.
We need to weave baskets and bowls by collecting. I'll say can't max 10 is the max, so we'll say 10 cordage. If
Yeah.
failed, lower surface counter by one.
So I like that. It's simple,
It is.
and I think it'll work.
Card 9. This dirty shanty of a shelter is long on morale. We need to make some bricks, which some bricks out of wooden cordage.
Need to make some supports.
Yeah, we'll say make some supports and improvements.
So we can use wood, we can use cordage, and then we could use.
What was the other thing? I keep forgetting what the freaking resources are now.
I know, I do too.
Wood, cordage, medicine, and water. Sorry, I get wood and cordage would be.
Yes.
Medicinal herbs.
We'll say 9. Well, we'll even out 8 wood, 8 cordage. If failed, low morale brings depression to the team, to the survivors.
You could include some extra water for cleaning,
Yeah,
just to give it a third. Or maybe water to take a bath after they make improvements.
there we go.
Need that bath.
We can even say, collect wood, cordage, make a wooden bathtub.
Yep.
I mean, I probably don't say that, but. And we'll go 5 water. Small animals have crawled into the group water supply. In order to get the water potable, it must be filtered. Collect 10 wood, 8 cordage to craft a filter.
Should we add water to it maybe just to get some
Well, their water's spoiled. Maybe that's where medicinal herbs can come in.
Yeah. So let's say get rid of the cordage and add
herbs.
Herbs.
Say 10 wood to build a bucket or a barrel.
Mhm.
Say 10 wood and 2 cordage to build a barrel and 8 medicinal herbs to sanitize.
There you go.
If failed, water is not potable, lower surface counter. The temperature has dropped over the past 2 days. We need to keep warm by collecting 8 food and 10 wood. There's stuff for cold weather.
I
and
missed one back.
While scouting for food, each player has received a scratch from a toxic plant. Players need to collect 10 medicinal herbs to heal the illness caused by the toxic. All players is lower suffrage counter.
I missed one.
The survivors are feeling low and want some inspirational music. You can craft an instrument by collecting 10 cordage and 8 wood. Failed survivors have no entertainment, lower morale. Raccoons have broken in food supply and stole some food. We need to build a fence around the base by collecting 10 wood, 10 cordage. Also, they stole.
Stolen. See, now that makes sense to have more food on top of that goal because you have to get more food to.
Yeah.
So maybe this one should be kind of a little bit more hard. So let's go 10, 10, and 10.
That's right. The challenge is really.
Yeah, that should be the challenging one.
Yeah. I feel like, how many other food do we have? We have
Not very many.
Card 1 and card 2 and card 3. A lot of wood.
So we need some more food ones.
What is this last one? We could say mosquitoes, no. While scouting for food. We'll just say you got. Oh, then we have the temperature drop. So we got 4 wood or 4. Right. So 1, 2. 3, 4. And we got 4 food cards. I guess that'll work.
After we do we want to try and do another playtest tomorrow with everybody here?
Except I won't be.
Because it's one of those that.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey's not going to be here.
Well, Jeffrey's not going to be here.
And I don't think Justin will be here either. Or he comes on Wednesdays, right? Yeah, because we have Thursday nights off usually.
No, we usually have Wednesday.
Is it one? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
But I'm pretty sure in his schedule he says he's open on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I'll message him to find out if he can come tomorrow. If not, it'll probably just be me and you, Mike.
Yep.
And we could probably do a quick play test of this. I don't want to spend too much time play testing it because we should really start with the rule book.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing is since we have resources and food, we may want to bring back the minimum. I don't know. We'll just have to try it both ways because I feel like we have a lot of hunting spaces on our board and not a whole lot of food stuff.
Well, that is the food.
No. I mean food goals that they need to actually get the food for.
Yeah. I might.
There's add more cards. I mean, we have 5 extra cards. We can add like 5 more survival cards.
Yeah, we can do 16 survival cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to think of some other ideas for food.
Yep.
Weather cards at the beginning of every month. The weather cards are shuffled 1 place and then draw. Or 1 card will then be drawn. 1 card will then be drawn that will affect the next month. Will be drawn and that effect and the effect. Sounds weird. At the beginning of every month, the weather cards are shuffled. 1 card is drawn.
I couldn't think of the right words to use for cordage.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said stuff.
Goals, lashings, and
Its effect is applied for that one. 1 rain card affects area X, Y, and Z. 9. 1 high tide and 2 skies. Good. Food. Roll a 20-sided die when you land on a space with a food space represented by H on it. Should it be an H or just an F?
be enough. Where's the food? Roll 25 die. When you land on a space with a food symbol. We'll do food symbol.
Rolling.
And choose to, because it's not just if you land on a space, because you don't. If you land on the space, you don't have to roll for food.
Yeah.
So we got to say, and choose to.
Yeah, I got this.
Jeffrey's got it.
Left 1. Food token.
Oops. Yeah, let me just do this. Oops. If I just take all this.
Right. I know up somewhere in here there was another H. We should change. There. The island space for the food symbol represented by an F on it. You can choose to roll a 20-sided die, or keep moving. I would probably say choose. I mean, because if your fatigue runs out and you stop on a thing, you can choose to roll a 20-sided die or not. I will say when you land a space with a food symbol represented on it,
Did you?
players can choose to roll.
Yeah, there you go.
Players
It's all about
choose
choice.
to roll a 20-sided die or not. If rolled. Yeah. Wood. Use crafting poles and lashes. What is used for construction? Medicinal herbs used for healing injuries and illnesses. Cordage used for crafting. This will just say crafting. I don't think we have to be specific on what.
Okay.
Water used to clean wounds and provide hydration. And then we got food up there. Okay. We should stay used for to trying to say like prevent starvation, I guess.
Mhm.
And flowchart. And you said there's just a few things to change on that?
Yeah. That's something if we want to work on putting like the images and stuff in to the GDD tomorrow, we can do that.
Yeah. I think the only other thing, I'm going to wait until everyone is here to discuss maybe changing the name to Stranded instead of Misplaced. Then, let's see, I think
Maybe Stranded Shallow instead of Stranded Deep. Yeah.
you guys are something. The only other thing I could, and the version update, we can do that tomorrow. I got so far 8 major things that we've changed. The only other thing I want to say is if we decide to add abilities to the characters, we might have to change the bios of the characters to kind of fit those abilities.
Yeah, I think my bio could be a good ability.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, I had 5 abilities. Someone gets an extra fatigue, someone could carry an extra item, someone could collect an extra food, crafting, or medical. I guess it's just based on their bios. So that could be something we discuss as a team.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess tomorrow we come in and finish, maybe add some images, tune it up a little more in spots that might be needed, and start working on the rule book.
Yep. We need to, because the rule book to, part of me wants to just jump on there and start, churning these cards out. But
Yeah.
again, I don't want to take that away from Justin. If he doesn't like the card design, then I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time.
Yeah.
And I need the art to go in. If he does like it, I need the artwork to go inside the frame. because we all know I can't draw worth a damn.
Yeah, and we have to. That's why I want him to be here so we can explain to him, all the changes we made. And we're not going to have a whole lot of cards that need to be printed out. So
No, well, I mean, we'll have about 87 that'll need to be printed out,
I mean,
right? Was that our thing? But that, I mean, you think
yeah, we had.
you could probably do 20 cards per sheet.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I see that for the weather cards, the radio components. We got 18 of all the region cards.
Yeah, so
15,
that
So yeah,
it won't be bad.
no, and you could probably fit. I don't know, 8, 12, 4, probably like 16, maybe 12 cards per sheet.
Yep.
So,
Because they're all based on that template was
yeah.
from the a poker-sized card.
And I guess if someone can't, doesn't have access to a printer, that much ink on another team, we might just supply like a concept template that they can just write on the card saying what it is and all that.
Yeah. So well, and also whenever we go into we need to go to the deck makeup
Yes.
and put that in there real quick because that would help them with that because they could be like this many times 2, this many times 3. Where was that? Detailed rules.
Worst case scenario, if they can't get cards, they can just roll dice for it.
That's true because the distribution would be the same. Okay, so here we go. The wood deck or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Used for construction, so that would be. Oh, my brain has stopped mathing for the day. I've spent a lot of my day in Excel.
We have 18 cards per deck, and we're gonna have it split out into 1, 2, and 3s. Correct?
I thought we were doing 2, 3, and 4s
Or 2, 3,
for
4,
the.
yes. So let's see if we got 18. Divided that by 3. That's about. If we want to do it that way, that would be six cards for each one. Keep it balanced, I guess.
Okay.
So
So we have 6 times 2, 6 times 3, and 6. I am slowing down, gentlemen.
I am too. I got probably an hour and a half of sleep today. Like 3 hours yesterday.
I got like 6. So I guess I slept by day.
Oh man! Like I said, tomorrow I'll be available till 9, and then after that, I may, depending on how late we're going, I might jump on afterwards. But
Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, as long as if it's just you and I and you gotta go, I can work on the rule book a little
Mhm.
more.
I'll look up some layout designs tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine because I have no idea where to start.
Me neither. It sucks that we don't have somebody that's like really into graphic design on our team.
Yeah, I was thinking I at least want like a cool cover for the book.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try working on something. I was thinking of something like what Dead of Winter looks like have the characters' faces on there, and maybe like a plane crash in one of the sections.
If
Yeah.
only we had Photoshop.
Yeah. No shit.
You know what? I got it on my other laptop. I might pop that open and work on it in there.
That's. I mean, after making that card template in GIMP, I mean, it looks okay, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think that especially they gave us Maya. Why can't they give us Photoshop and Illustrator? Because we need those to create decent art for prototypes. Like not even. And they're like, well, you can use GIMP. It does the same thing. No, it doesn't.
Everyone's used to Photoshop.
Yeah.
I've taken classes on Photoshop, so I know.
Yeah.
I know how to use it. I don't know anything. I can't find half the crap on GIMP. It took me like a day to find out where the the magnifying glass was so I could zoom in, and even then you have to click zoom in or zoom out. You can't like scroll or something. I don't like that.
It's like everybody else in the world uses this. Why do we get the Shaft and just have, Microsoft Word and free software?
Yeah. I mean, are they trying to be generous and not make us spend that much money?
It's too late for that.
Yeah, but guys, the thing about it is, looking at a comparable degree, 67 ain't bad.
That's what you guys got? I think mine was 57.
I'm at like 100 something.
Yeah, but you took classes before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so.
What sucked with me is I wasn't able to transfer my credits from my previous school over because when I transferred to Full Sail and did all the FAFSA and all that, my Pell Grant actually went to Full Sail and not to the Art Institute. And so I owed the Art Institute money, and they wouldn't give me my transcript until I paid it off, which I still haven't paid it off. But so they wouldn't send Full Sail my transcript because there was like 2 or 3 classes that I did there that I repeated here.
Mm-hmm. But now you got the Full Sail experience.
Exactly. If I didn't take those 2 classes, I wouldn't be here with you guys.
Yeah, there you go. Wouldn't be the team we are today. Well, guys, I got to say, I think I speak for Tyler and myself. This is looking a lot better than it was at 6 this morning when we were freaking out about it.
I didn't know where to begin. I was just like ready to say, this is the game we're making. No one likes it, then don't play it.
I was just thinking, I'm like, part of me was like, this is where you just scrap the game and you start over with something new. But I was like, nah, we can do this. And
other people scrap their games.
Or at least scrapped a big portion of them. But, I think this is actually turning out to be really good.
Yeah, this seems a little easier on our part and the player's part.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's got a little better gameplay this way.
I do too.
I think just flipping the map to the hex side did it.
Yeah, because we're like, hey, we actually have an idea of where we're going now.
Yeah, on the square, the only option you have is like, you got just one square they can go to, and that's it. And
Mm-hmm.
hex gives them places to move around.
And if we'll play this out and kind of get our feedback from the other teams, but
yeah,
starting off, I think this is a real strong template, and it's pretty up there with the complexity based on the 2 that he showed. It's pretty close.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop the recording because I think we're pretty much done.